Kanino no Ramanyo Simwa. If you look at the side of the MPP, if you look at the side of the NDC, those times and Amanyo Sima, ye drill on my Ghana one. Ushe nipa no mudi enim kan edi omu about for their more my Ghana. All they know is Ghana. Yankasana from Soka Krekrenio. Look at the sacrifice of Tonyudumu. Look at the sacrifice of Alaji Udu Yayamo. Ibn Chambasmo. Look at the sacrifice of Betimol Idrisu. Yeah. Look at the sacrifice of these people. BJ Darocha Muno Mabesin baby. Look at their sacrifice.
And then
say who don't want to America, and America say America first in all things, and they are leaving it that America first because America need our Ghana need share crowd naturalize by Yarida Ghana. Just one individual, America friend said what could munina or what tension want to say there's a crony in Anabaha.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7.
The CIMT Radio Program of the Year. Ekosiisen. Are you ready? You are listening to the CIMT Radio Program of the Year. Ekosiisen on Asempa 94.7 FM.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7.
The winner, Radio Program of the Year 2018, I beg your pardon. Asempa FM's Ekosiisen. There they come, ladies and gentlemen.
The winner goes home with a memento, citation, and certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, the Radio Program of the Year 2020 goes to Asempa FM Ekosiisen. Well, the host, I don't know who he has not interviewed yet. Congratulations to all of you, the entire team at Asempa FM's Ekosiisen. Congratulations to you for emerging the Radio Program of the Year 2020.
Asempa FM Ekosiisen asonyina etie sa platform media se unya na betna subia na Fabi Bruni Besie. It's a privilege and an honor na yamu be so part of the inception of this particular platform Shasi Ache and no answer ne Shasi. And we thank you for maintaining that credibility when it comes to delivery of more program.
The award for the political program of the year radio going to Ekosiisen of Asempa FM. Ekosiisen Asempa FM.
Political program of the year radio Ekosiisen. How did it end? And the host of the show, OB, steps up to pick the award.
Congratulations, Ekosiisen.
Well, I know that Asempa has gained a lot of experience. Asempa is one of the, not the forerunners, but in terms of coverage and listenership, you stand tall. The new FM stations that are coming into the arena are not calling on you to exit, them to survive. Is that what is happening? No. They are learning from you. They are learning under your feet. They are also trying as much as possible to find space. And, there's enough in the world for everybody. There's enough in the world for everybody. And so I think that those who are coming up, we definitely will encourage the injection of new blood. But you cannot also totally do away with the experience.
It's always a pleasure coming to Asempa where the truth is spoken.
We wish you well. We wish you well. Thank you so much for.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Nyamisha, you are also doing very well. We are also very, very proud of you. Very intelligent journalist. But one-on-one with Obi, as I said, will prepare. He knows how to pass all kinds of corners to get what he wants. And Kososa, we are proud of you.
The Honorable Samuel Okuja Blakwa and Moten and Kano. Bibi Aboko.
Oh, Osei, Bonsu, Amwa. And the Amwa account, I said, man was in the Union, was able to. Obi, yeah, Moboyuma, Moboyuma, Yabana, Yabusi, and Yachi, Emse, Obai, and Oshas, and baby, I am Miduabiduno. I also need the Rabbi near the Akositag office. Because Namia Yabi, yes, Namia Yabi, I share Juma Asempa FM, so more ye. Any education among the man Crawford. Now, we be idea about a brown Crawford pass, a started after and Crawford Moduamuba.
Yeah, now beginning the year, right?
From Pondy. On an tag, everyone award. Or church say, before any investment, Kaka. Said the Bayer is Sika, a Bayer no. I'm say, near beating I can say, Yamin Team Nina, Yamin Shamo. Asempa de, Enona, Ubiati. Do we are now much baby aboso. Intino Asempa FM there. Opo Betty. Yeah, that's it. Adi Obi, is it captain's band and abo? It do Opo Betty.
Yeah, that's a promise I'm watching on that tag code. Samuel Atachi, Honorable Minister in charge of Works and Housing, Member of Parliament for Ebuakwa South.
It should count.
Yeah, that's
time I have that. If I have any aje. Yeah, that's it. Now, and near man that one about 12 commodities. So, Mate. When you say Ghana, that were Kumaso. So, how's when the Damakumaso? Yeah. And Tiana, or man in Pija.
Me continue, me and me free Marco go from Marco.
Yeah, best thing about being Comobio. Why?
You, the Frozen.
Medin your say Bonsu.
Was able to
whom we now frame me Obi a major also. Why?
In his own you will be a one and
Chairman Medase, Chairman Putin, a Central Regional Chairman, Hedima MPP. Hey, a Chairman Kutin Kunipo. Wow. My Nase, lawyer Jerry Ahmed Shaib. We wish you very well. Why? We wish you very well.
We are very smart guy. I told you that my driver listens to your station. Both. Everybody knows. It's called Stephen Boati. Let me just use this platform to say hello to him. Yeah. I think he wants to hear your voice, so maybe you have to greet him. It's called Stephen Boati.
Stephen Boati?
Yes, both.
No, Charlie. Stephen, who is brutal?
Yeah, or brutal. Or cherish you.
Stephen, yeah, that's it. I was at a crowbar and a picture.
Yes. And then Mama, I remember all family Kasabi.
It's been great. Ekosiisen in a lawyer met Shaib and Amoten and Kano.
Openness, I think that this shouldn't be a problem at all.
Mida itself should come out, yes.
Yeah, Mida should tell us, Miracle, this is a shareholding structure. Indigenous Ghanaians only maybe X percentage, and the Philippines only Y percentage. And I think that should settle this matter.
Honorable, it's always a pleasure talking to you. May that's a powerful for your time.
What be, that's
it. And the Honorable John upon the attending Kano.
That's na Memfa Kunya also in chair a tifonina or Muti Ekosiisen, Jumedino. Na Ebedomus was because Asempa, Asempa, also FAT4. And then me did yourself a Ghana Fanana, Ubia Radio, Eda, I would see none, Juma Pamaye. But I premise I'm renting. Remember some money, my phone penny phone.
Elder Amos Kevin Anan. I saw a penny aqua, and it's saying,
me just a video, Bema. I fish up.
After Papa and commentary. Officer saying, Bibi a quay.
I fish love. Life lessons and a legacy in Comano.
Be brave.
I told the park Comasumo be at the edge.
Asempa FM.
He withdrew.
Now, me what unless I will
Asempa FM.
It is so pedestrian. Oh, please walk us, and I didn't say anything. I didn't country. In fact, trouble analysis is simply means that it is too pedestrian.
What boy? A miracles man in Casa. No, what boy? I think. Yeah. Let me Felix meet you. What's here?
What boy? 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 What boy You don't know what you are talking about. Obi, let me state it here. So Obi Akachira will say there was no EMT and Amelsa. Obwa. Okay? The day I was in a Joy FM studio. I openly confronted him and his spokesperson. I know that because my first foray to government, I'm a Hanatete, special assistant. So Hanatete,
no, a minister, right?
For trade.
Yeah, for trade.
She was a member of that committee. Until the days are now coming in the castle. The EMT was chaired by John Mahama. In fact,
but there was another advisory council.
Yes,
right? Okay.
Advisory council, and you be before. Share. Emisata no yeding.
Vice president and EMT chair, right?
But so President Mama set up a presidential advisory group on economy. And no one can President Mama the chair. Into the existence of an advisory council does not mean that there's no EMT.
Okay.
Until I'm placing it on record, says I'm no boy. Miracles doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm telling you, whoever your sources may say and no credit. May say and no credit. I've given you the fact. So the mere please.
Miracles. But the EMT meetings you attended, na kwabena before we movie.
He was there. Oh, Massa.
Okay.
If I EMT the way it's Rollins in the critique. The first chairman, Professor Mills. I don't know whether Aliu Mama was also the head of the EMT or whether they had one. Okay. Kwabena before the Bank of Ghana governor, the energy minister, agri minister, trade minister were all members of the EMT.
When Mahama chair.
Absolutely. It will be a catch or say he was not the head of EMT or Bois. I was in that government. I have been there. At our castle. Number 2. Sir analysis your mama I say Niema. Isn't that say a trouble analysis no? Because we need a whole fine now we analysis. Now there are facts in front of you. Who need to would you know? Now my make sure say make us ask. Oh, do Biaka.
Or send the need a honor on your very.
Let me say so. You see, I cannot understand. Oh, Biaka. Oh, Kawa says okay. Me say facts go in him. Now, what can someone pass more? We have to question your logic and your motive. Obi, what see Obi the inflation if it's in bracket? Ako 15.4%. It's in the money months any. Wafa inflation at some point from 8% ako 54%. What say we more more any amount some amount? And are you competent? Now the other 15.4% when you're competent. Obi. Sir, growth rate of 8% for 2017. It is their highest. Mama as head of EMT, the same position about me occupy now, only 14.4%. It is the highest in 40 years. Who's you be abon? The power bonding at 14.4, when you're 8. Who's winning, my dear? That's what.
Thank you. Miracles, meet you. Miracles meet you. Into say, stop it. Oh, I can give you proof of the Obi. Yes, meet you.
29th April 2009. 2009.
Okay.
This is exactly 4 months
into the new government.
Yes. OBTA. President John Evans Atamels has constituted a 10-member economic advisory committee to advise him on key economic policy issues. Leadership of Dr. Goben Nankani. Members are Nankani. Members are Togbe Afede, the Knife, Professor K.N. Afo, Dr. Emmanuel Ablu, Mr. Pakwesi Emisa Atta, Dr. K.Y. Amwakon. The rest are Mr. Joel Hyde, Dr. Kadman Atamels, Mr. Ishmael Yamsen, and Mr. Fred Onyenikena. 9th April 2009. The finance minister, who is part of the other institutions who are supposed to work with the economic advisory committee of the president, has come to sit here in your chair. Dr. Dufo, Papa na we be nyuma bebre o my way mu. Why ye juma so many years of his life. Dr. Dufo na the signature. Oh, Felix, what you are doing is so unfair. Felix. I sat down for 20 something years. I have sat here for 20 something minutes. Stop it. You see, this thing that you are doing, I could have done it, you could have done it. I am reading from
Felix Meba. Miracle.
I know this story in my the other point and I'm person may add and say
please control him.
He would conduct himself well. Who say mostly say President Air announce EMT or the statement have you found any statement communicate the announcement of EMT any members of the EMT?
Okay, which EMT?
No, me say under Mills one statement.
There's no official.
Mama, that is why. So you should be telling me. Which statement? Felix. Obi, what are you doing?
He wasn't there.
Obi, what are you doing?
Felix.
Who are you in that government? Who are you in that government? The finance minister. I am nobody. That's why I'm not coming. That is why. Charlie, Obi, what are you doing?
I've told you the
No, Obi, that guy lied. He lied. He has given you no evidence apart from what you on.
Felix, for now, Felix. Felix, Tobo. I think Felix Meba.
From where? What did you read it from?
I think Felix Tobo. I think for now Felix Nyabotre. There is a statement signed by Mahama Yariga which is not in dispute. At the end of the day there is no statement.
Show me the statement that made Mills head of EMT and Anonymous.
No, I've not seen any such
statement. So does it mean there was no EMT?
Very well. In the Malenkasa. Yes. Miracles, Felix,
and it's so disrespectful to your listeners.
Felix, at least I think you've made your point. You've made that point. Let him talk. Mamintio Miracles.
Common sense will tell you, say, in the absence of any other thing, what is present is what we work with. So I have shown you.
Felix, now it's becoming too much. It's becoming too much. Let him finish.
Is it the fact that
you've made that point? You've made that point.
So why do you say in the absence of a
let him talk.
And then even before was an opponent of Mahama in the contest, speaking politically.
Noted.
He was confronted.
That point has been made.
So what is the issue?
Miracles, me pacho mamintio.
Obi, can I go on?
Me pacho miracles.
And hopefully you control your show.
It is being controlled.
Obi, listen. Yen na enim nyansa wo yen na school. Yen na yetu me kan. Sa enkane na obi betra radio so no akasa gaga no kono obi etwem. Me say the evidence present for the people of Ghana in terms of who were members of the economic management team that were advising President Mills is a statement which was signed by President Mills' presidential spokesperson, who is now a member of parliament and was minister under his government, Mahama Yariga. The statement is here. President John Ivans has constituted a 10-member economic advisory council to advise him on key economic policy issues and policy options in managing the impact of the economic challenges and maximizing the full potential of existing opportunities.
Asempa FM.
A statement signed by Mahama Yariga, presidential spokesperson, said the EAC in its work shall collaborate closely with the existing institutions for economic policy formulation, development and implementation. The EAC is under the chairmanship of Dr. Gobet Nankani. Members are Togbu Yafede, Professor K.N. Afo, Dr. Emmanuel Ablu, Bakwesi Atta, Dr. K.Y. Amwako. The rest are Joel Hyde, Kadman Atamels, Ishmael Yamson, and Fredo Henekena. Nowhere in this statement did the former President Mills even make the Vice President a member of his advisory committee. Now, Felix, or better radio says, no, they are all team. Felix, I catch a radio says, evidence I want to say now committee. Now, apart from this one that the president communicated to the people of Ghana, no, Felix, there was another one that you were attending with Professor John Mahama, the former president at Castle. And you ignore president in the statement, release you that in a day you can lie 5 times, even now you have lied with it.
And also, Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7.
This is the radio program of the year. Ekosiisen. Are you ready? You are listening to the CNG radio program of the year. Ekosiisen on Asempa 94.7 FM.
Mumma Byakuye brejo tikrom kwejino mumaye nyinamum emfa akruye Byakuye brejo tikrom kwejino mumaye nyinamum Kana bina koso Kana betumpon Inti mumaye nina so Biane so Kana bina koso Kana betumpon
Asempa FM. Asempa FM.
.7 Asempa FM Sunni. It's another Monday afternoon. Good afternoon to you and thanks for joining us. Check with your time. We've done 24 minutes after 2 on a Monday afternoon, the 12th day of February 2024. Mididi Osei Bonsu from Yobi Amejo. So I speak on behalf of a very, very, very solid production team. A team led by Dominic Kisi Yeboah with support from Nana Chumberema, Jackson Osei in Tiamoa, Yewo Ebenezer Tete, Omai Hene Kwabena Sante, and Ekia Boachiwa Iyadom. Omune Boya Media Ekosiisen Jumedie Ebremo. We do this every weekday from Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. It's officially Ghana's biggest and the most authoritative political, social, and current affairs talk show. It's yet another week. We thank God for life. We thank God for sustenance. We thank God for mercies. We thank God for grace. It's our hope and expectations that throughout the rest of the week, God will come through for us. And thank you for making this choice. Thank you for making us number one. We are live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live also online. Into myjoyonline.com and adomonline.com. Multi-TV decoder and a radio channel, no? Asempa FM was so HD plus decoder and radio channel Asempa FM was so obey me. Mamena yen proud sponsors Nanswase in the sounds of our time, Flumal Triple Action and a DBS in Chensen Papa Fie, Mehia Sem segment Nanso Cocoa Milk, Obapa Product, Kingdom Real Estate, Syntax Tank, EcoBank Ghana, a better way, a better Africa. Your one-on-one interviews are on this show. Your Provident Insurance, College of Medicine and Allied Sciences, and a Kingdom Herbal. Your discussion segments, no,
Tabia Herbal, Seahorse Engine Oil, and a Franco Trading Enterprise, and a Boyemia de Ebremo. And you were one-on-one interview with the Honorable Member of Parliament for the people of Ningo Prampram constituency. It is here in the Greater Accra region. Moma Yenina. So the Honorable Sam Nate George will be our guest in studio at 3 p.m. Na Yaneno Eddie Nkomo. We are the discussion segment Ebetwaso. Nana Boache, Bebena friend Nana B, or a lawyer ni, or a national organizer Edema NPP who will join us here. Atik Mohammed, Executive Director, Edema Mass Action for Sustainable Development in Africa, Mazda. He would also join us. And Chum Berema Esquire, or a member of the NDC's National Communications Team. At 4 p.m., that panel discussion would begin. One or two things that me pesa we at the emame. Number one, and it's a free unia na ononsum friend in ya say Ekosiisen team na ye crado. We are live on air in the on 5 feeding into Asempa 94.7 FM. That's the first thing I want you to do. Number two, so necessary. Share your YouTube and as a Facebook, I share the link and as I share the stream. Now unions when you be into me and please add your comment in our comment section. It is about YouTube, for example. Let us know that you are watching us and where you are watching us from. Now I would acknowledge you accordingly. And number three, I say, don't be a passive listener, be an active listener. An active listener means you listen to the show attentively and then you contribute decent contributions. And your team did it. And your number, or thoughts, so your WhatsApp number, 0548 443 523 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. Sam George Bas Studios. One of the things here, anybody who come here, he would give us an update on the, in quote, anti-gay bill, which is currently before Parliament. Yet he said some provisions in that bill, no parliamentary approval, or more, a lot of issues in there. He would give us an update on where we've reached with that bill. Yeah, he's also an ardent football fan. And he Enron AFCON 2023 about a year would do a little bit of a review of the tournament, and then we deal with the Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia speech last week vis-a-vis what the NDC is also promising the good people of Ghana, and we would have that conversation with him, and then we would finish off with party politics in his constituency, Ningo Prampram, and the Greater Accra region in general. Say NDC chances in this region, ebedi sanko morning. But even before that, Unim say on the 14th of February, which is Val's Day, a group of sports journalists in our country organize the Save Ghana football demonstration. And some of the organizers, Nana say, conveners will join me in studio. Na anyone wedding come tell, and then we speak to Honorable Sam George Ashase Akasa. Let me acknowledge more and more sharing YouTube. Ebi Ernest Ajiman or Brescia in Italy. Yeah, that's it. Osei Obi is among the best. Thank you for your kind words. We also be thank God for a new day. Greetings to all. K Smooth 03. Yeah, that's it. Donald Dapu Ewo Beaumont, Texas in US of A. Yeah, that's it. Also, please find out if a Hunter West have gotten their share of the AstroTurf that the government has been constructing, which with some districts getting more than 2. Okay, Hunter West, I'm not too sure, but I'll find out. Emmanuel Omane Ewo Cavazos in Texas. Anyway, but in Shraba and Elka, thank you for coming through with your thought. Isaac Kane, UK. Yedase. Nana Bafo says, good day from here. We'll be watching you live from Bowie, Maryland. Thank you. Boaten Simon, Ewo North Dakota in the US. Oscar Chum also was sharing from Barcelona in Spain, but also where Jumim Sisi and Stella was sharing. That's it. We appreciate all the sacrifices you make for this show. Auntie B says, I'll be watching you from the UK. Thank you, Auntie B. Nanekia Moa Boating says, a very special greetings to my own elder Maku Amankwata, computer engineering student of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and technology. And then this one says, watching you live from Coventry. Bismarck sent his regards. Bernard Kofiamo, Bernard Edase Papa. Eric Opomensa says, Obi, I'm watching you live from Obuase. Thank you, Eric. Asante Godfred. Osei, okay, Obi, good afternoon. My role model. Okay, Asante Godfred Edase. Arshad Baine. Also, wo Columbus, Ohio, Kwache Thomas, Bolgatanga DVLA. Wow, Kwache Edase Papa. AJ Reynolds, Athens in Greece, Enoch Nyako. Enoch Sawahin, let me see, Denver, Colorado. Wow, Asante Godfred. Also, what's your honorable Yao Afol, Kennedy Free or Get Fund. Now, okay, the Kennedy Free says, greetings to Honorable Joseph Dente of Get Fund. I hear you, Kennedy. Afari Prince Wayen Swano, Otibuatin Matthew. Also, Obi, please, the government is owing service personnel who ended their service last year 3 months allowance. Okay. Samuel Boabin wa New Jersey. Kwesi Pong Enso Michelle Camp Sheyen. Yadamu nyina se nipa no Edos Daniel Fache or Bronx in New York. Sheyen. Yada se papa. Let's have your thought as well on all the issues yeba ababidi ho enkomo enti mama yenyina yen hye so the medical catch am say Save Ghana football demonstration no baso this Wednesday. Now it's a must attend demonstration. But more busa your WhatsApp number 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. Ma yenhwena yeni enkomo na ansana no. I'm told say Oko NLA the head of finance and as acting director finance NLA head office Metre Fortune House Nidini Ernest Mote Ernest Mote na matese where the 60 years as we speak. Where the 60 years as we speak. And 60 years in the public service will be the 60 years retirement and oko. We wish you a very, very fruitful retirement. A very fruitful retirement. And Ernest Motti. Okay. In the 60 years, we wish you a very, very fruitful retirement. In this retirement, na onenyame ako. Nipa fufuro be take or charge so na Ghana fo nyina ma na kwaba na yahwe ha wa ne besi akwenti. National Lottery Authority, Mr. Ernest Motti, happy birthday belated. And I 12th February. Okay, 12th February. And happy birthday to you. Do have a really, really good birthday, and we would see how our Neoma ABC Ako. Veronica Kome, studio. Pacho, your microphone, just raise it like this. Yeah, you raise it. Good. Now, it's saying,
Yamia Domboko Obi.
Bibia Koye.
Bibia the Dean Boko. Yawa Honde won't pay and no pay. And not pen out to see
football and
fun and to my pay frappe be
wow. It is so far the demonstration about so Wednesday.
Definitely.
Bibia did not claim.
Bibia, you're fine. And so far in terms of operations, the America said we are about 99% ready.
Oh, 99%.
In terms of logistics, security, routes I be you see Ahokekai Free Ghana Police, however. Organizers on the ground, the people who want to come. In terms of preparation, we are very advanced. Bibiada from Boko. They are trying to say, you're best sorry, Wednesday morning. Not gonna afford the Akumakro. I join the union and ya trese or man you football yakuma.
Sure.
Na ya campaign for say and Nioma Atochima Ache and say problem you send a year canon no same 40 years.
Sure.
Because in over 42 years, 43 years, Ghana M5 Conda. Na menu me no be say Enra Ivorians, apart from the fact that say yes, Nigerians, and Ivorians, because in my lifetime, no, my cover tournaments, but cap no, Muda. Although your teams are so close, but I will share your footballer, say, and your map performed do, and they will share whether it's our league or the national teams, appointment of coaches, a lot of areas are. And you might inquire now, and on yet now say a bar into the understanding say development. I did drive development your policy. And that is one thing that is lacking in our game. For a lot of the problems near the doors, we are convinced because countries are. And we are successful in development in every area. No, they're driving a policy. And we are sure that our policy no, you will be as a nation a cure a lot of the problems because our policy and as a Black Stars your flagship product. Yes. Others feed on it, whether it's other national teams, the women national team, the league, coast football and others. But our policy Bibia into me convince says a Black Stars tournament. It was so manner sika a Black Stars and whether they are doing well or not. Or policy you are able to measure. Say behind the next 5 years now, a honey ko ye drew has say ye be. So we now broaden conversation a little. Yaka say other national teams or other parts of the game suffer because I quite say yet see ye de biani assume ye. There has to be a deliberate effort to develop our game.
But are you saying, sir, when I go to the Football Association and there is no policy or more implemented?
I know, sir, recently, GFSL a DNA for football. I do also remember, say, in 2002, Ghana is a Nations Cup not quite early. Qualified for Tunisia in 2004. Then we went to Egypt
in 2006.
Yes, na Zimbabwe for share black just normal share. You call World Cup ninti. Germany, your first one inti. And your mask kakra. But around that time, Ben Kofi and a leader, there was a 5-year development plan. So here at 2009, Ghana befa under 20 African Championship, no any World Cup. Sa team no the day Ajaman Bedu, Jonathan Mensah, Rabiu, a host of them Inkum and others under 20 no our progress into sorry be back to back AFCON semi-finals finals. Most of those boys were in that team. It is almost telling you say because now you conveyor belts you who progression into there was that kind of success or something that mimicked
that development plan.
It was a 5-year development
and
plan.
No, is it a word of mouth? And I said there is a document to that effect. That 5-year development plan.
Ben Kofi was a document to that effect.
There is a
document to that effect. And in this instance, we want to go beyond the conversation about just the FE. Because you see, government is the biggest driver of development because apart from say government in the infrastructure, any basic things ebema football na kone nim no ebe say FA decided say okay on somewhere cool football and I say even school football near there governments and be making sure say Ghana Education Service and a curriculum and whatever it takes. So there should be that marriage there. And for us, the person to lead that conversation should be the president of the nation. And what we are looking for, and you say be a MPP our power, free na NDC ban and your master. One policy binding all of us. Because truly no when me no ekobe ni ekoshebola yen just way NDC ni and way MPP ni. That thing that binds all of us a football. It is the reason why I keep saying say abai bia ba kroma. They all and say okay, a lot of them any policy for football, unfortunately. Into what happens is Black Stars near attractive. When you say Black Stars it cut a lot of things so Epipanti said football people no any opportunity no mo push why the Black Stars should have the biggest investments they fall for it. They fall for it because if they had a plan or a policy then we know exactly where we are going. And it's not say going forward no we need one policy. A policy a transcend politics, a party in power, is the only time we really will see a lot of improvement. So we do think that that time has come and that time is here. And for a lot of people, or for some people, football people, I'm not taking it personal, and I understand. I'm not taking it personal. For us, it's not personal. The only personal thing in here is football.
Football.
For everything, a lot of us, we are born also around the world that the football economy is so huge.
Very.
And there is one time a person may think on my dream so. Say often a personal and person may be so asimo. The GFA are handling the game in trust of Ghanaians. Sure. Na minimum we obi.
They're handling our national team in trust.
Yes. Say o program awuye o target audience. Sebasa target audience every and a lot of them 80%, 90%. I can say obi show no kwa yempe this part, yempe that part. For you or brand no person was a son and ameboa. Inti ada na say Ghana phone na kasa for a while say your football na down. Na brand yenya home baby. Now we taking the personal. Brand beer here no. Three things. Feedback is very important to you. Say, okay, say here, not just say, what lose to touch, and I say won't care. And I don't want to believe, say, that is what we are faced here. So on Wednesday,
but for Bonsu as interested parties in our football, has there been an opportunity where you say, listen, Mona mo manage your national teams on our behalf? As journalists, I cover national team assignment over the years. We've seen this, and this. We want an audience with either the FA president or the executive committee to sit and put before you what we also think. More pushy for Bibisa and more closes our door, no? And until now, more resort to the demonstration.
We have not done so, but over the years, one thing that we have been united in is speaking truth to power, why our football is down and why it is important for us to make a few changes. Now, say obiju asupemwa even when all legitimate criticism or issues why a few things must change, you know. I say football people, anything from football people. I'm catch you say football people won't come on. So over the years, you have to look for the right route. And for us, whilst the football authority is supposed to be autonomous, no, funding free.
Sure.
A buying home.
Sure.
A buying a stake in it.
Yes.
A buying represents So a buy has the biggest impact in all of this. And for us, we feel when we have that kind of conversation out there and government buys into it, it makes it a whole lot easier.
I get you. And as you say, the roots, roots, convergence point or brass sports. Now, yanantia fahin.
1 minute.
Okay, no problem.
I will walk you through.
While you do that, Mamma Sadiq Akwaba, now Sadiq. Bibi Aboko.
Boko, and Eddie Maben, Pam say, Boko.
But I was asking, I mean, this question that keeps coming up about this Ben Kofi 5-year development plan.
Yeah.
Have you cited it before? What was our plan?
Oh,
well, it seems because it should be available for everybody to see.
There was it wasn't Ben Kofi or Troy.
Okay.
He met the entire football body, fraternity.
Okay.
They sat down and drew it. So I remember the forum where it was presented to them.
Okay.
So there was involvement of all the stakeholders in the game. And Sana Omo building.
Yeah, because I'm surprised for such a good document, and the result it gave us. Why are you jettisoning the document?
I am also very surprised with the new twister ever with DNA, because I know, say, I can say for a fact, say Urua Otia Kenten ATMia. He was the technical director of the FA under Mr. Nyantechi. We have a document. I know that I have been. You cannot say so for a country like Ghana. No. Nobody can tell me say Ghana. I feel never fire DNA. But I say, Obi say, "Ama me enema kakrai me pese ye kind of straightforward. Sure. Coaches no more krum hana be brave. Cowards, especially senior coaches no." So omotina hane ye ka se Ghana bob boss over 60 years ye ni DNA. Shameful. Ye will be Otia Kenten was nipa or course Senegal calf man of course Senegal core structure or game. Ye will document to her or will be Ghana football building no because DNA na woka ne nyina na ye din ene de that so slogans ne ade na nkasa ne how do we play as a nation your philosophy ne dey and DNA no nti DNA ne aba ba ye wo bi you can never say say Ghana need document CK Jemfi Benkofi or Sam Dodu Samade all these coaches are Afrane on the continent. Is it not Ghanaian coach no ko restructure Benin football Ghanaian coach na build Botswana FA Ghanaian coach na build Sudan FA Ethiopia Senegal.
We've done for Benin, we've done for Gambia, we've done for Senegal. Yeah, here for all.
So why do you tell me in 2024 say Ghana is building a DNA? Just say yenibi. No, your slogans. Ebi wo ebia ye the new one be the beka ho fine, but Ghana with DNA. We know our DNA. Obi na wetna ha na ebisa as Ghana ye boss and ye bona. Ubehu fundamentals no. Obi a odi boy chi bi anim.
I wanted to ask this question, sir. We are fortunate the current FA president is a journalist by training.
Yeah.
Are you saying, sir, your free tournament we buy? Because I know, sir, he listens to the media, he listens to radio. Conversations are also post our exits no on him. On free monument say. Like FA executive committee for the crown car say, oh, ya tese more kasa, momrami and trans. What are your concerns? Bibi Sanko also.
No. As far as Verona and the phone here open,
my phone is open and threats. I mean threats.
Oh,
yeah. Threats saying say I'm on a must say Now the question is say open
why would you threaten?
Why would you threaten?
What I'm thinking is that they should have called.
We've
for you to say
no, but Obi wona ABI the kind of open bonti when it actually Finan Kasana Mahun say bibi once you enter. Because nobody has called us. And we don't want to be called, say, you are calling us for calling sake.
Yeah. It should be something concrete.
Every day, Obi be insulting me, say, oh, you hate Keto Kreku, you hate Keto Kreku, until more years I do, you know. That day now, then there's a throwback of something I have done 10 years ago about the same thing. And the consistency makes me proud, say, and your cat.
Of course.
Because he is the FA president. Me closest to than anybody in football. But at the end say senka obi kra frɛ say journalist enye demonstration ya started
yes.
Enka Kumasi press briefing maso. Do you know why I'm saying that? You call 2021 by now. It was the worst AFCON in our history
at the time.
Did you see say omushia media?
Dabi.
Enti say nya ade we ya enka omo nko Kumasi and some no mo kan nyina ye nsem a ye ka wo ye demonstration na yebe kono enema ye see we need to put and no more can wo no crepa ne say there was never ever going to be any press meeting but for this, and we like the fact that omo ye committed to at least something like that. So FA4 nankasa no say media for na LED secretary no ye media or ye part of SWAG, Sports Writers Association. Prosper, yes, he still is. Minua Penny Ketokreku is part. Henry Asante Chum is part. I didn't almost Bebre only a part of media, almost free medium. Mamma who said Nancy cramming minya position of football man, Mr. because Mamma who says some changes are there. Because will be your best sorry be now is all time with dear. It is say na men so may be any minje because some may babe danesa post chani be there. Obia Obeka Bibia now all kind of 10 years ago. Or can in there a hit because the kind of things we said about Kwesi Nyantakyi administration are a decade by and then I'm reading the manifesto Nibium. Niamana Yekano.
Cat manifesto.
Yes, and Niamana yes. Niamana Yekan and a preamble. Say a football is at crossroads. We have never gotten this low with our national team. We have never.
And winning just one national team, almost all of them.
Yes,
save Emma.
Yes,
senior national team.
Yes, even a man under 17, we've been banned. Nobody was punished. Obi incompetence. Ya ban a man under 17. Age cheating. Or my Benin, they arrested the FA president. He was in jail together with the people who facilitated the age cheating. Ya anya investigation crying to it. And nipa no mudi anymore no. Omosanya to omajumaso. We have never gotten this low. Say, you call African Cup of 24 teams. 2021, you the 19th out of 24. 2023, you're the 18th out of 20. We have never in the history of the AFCON. And he said, and Yama way see na 2019, now you were at crossroads, sir. Say, I were Abyss. And he said, Obi sorry now. I was so proud. He said, Obi ya watchdog, Amao.
No, to put you on your toes.
Nobody can Obi antimi praise singing forever. Because at the end of the day, Obi Hubi, Emba, Emma, taxi driver, trot for bankers, Obi who the black star level, Obi who ye league level. Obi who management mo manage game no the level amodiako nti se journalist sorry and yes all time se obi frɛ vero say vero ade na mo ka ne nyina no mumra nipa nim ti se coach amasa mumra na momfa to prepare so now there mumma ye time na monhwɛ say afi de ye be follow obi ankansa na eya temdidie ene wo hɔ a obeti say Sadiq we say ntina oye or candidate be meso nipa omoto aba me candidate ye ket obi anim wa me call ne lunch 2, 3, 4 times.
Yes.
And I dabia me ka say me I wrote in 2017 say the way I all year MTN FA Cup in a club no he will become an FA president. And he knows he became the FA president contrary to anyama na me believe in me ka say me madwen ye de ball say wo krom ha na kotoko has bobo. Now, also there is no avenue to get money for them. Football, no more dry. Until the league win and pay $30,000 for 34 games.
34 matches.
If well card the players 30 a quarter malay say. O the men can say omonye pepepe. So unis can be a utumi budget say. Management committee members on the black stars say chia ya for plane tickets. Ya for more accommodation, omu feeding, yamomu per diem, yamomu honorarium. Year after 10 days, no, yan sent you amoka $100,000. Do you know how many months a bet take kotoko to make $100,000? That is the development. Omona ope omu players at the Akobo national team. Sadie we was a continue. You don't expect me. Me criticizing in 10 years ago, no. Me support you because you are doing well. And the people who took the money are the same people. Omo kwatna say omo ye proposal say Ghana ye in the way ye reward system ye change ministerial document. Chairman now wotna say yen cancel appearance fee for management for yen cancel players salary no. Sa chairman no na osanji $100,000 a year after proposing. On said the impact of shame has been lost on our society. The impact of shame, nobody is embarrassed by any man because seconds gene can yes what the maumo. Obuso said, dear na my me deserve $100,000 in a system. Premier League clubs or more room no they are so poor say ye chomo football. Football kotoko poor say ye chane football 2024. Ye chiche ye Premier League clubs football ni boot.
But FA no if for the purpose of argument, we normally minded to want to even call a critical stakeholder like the media to brainstorm and press conference as I'm America. Where you say senior journalists are more casano. Can you at least put bullet point form issues no on paper? Come, let's sit down. The sports ministry so to sana mono.
Na so mo parties in crime.
No, sir. Sports ministry soon too, sir.
Debbie. Me say very well. I be your my friend, and I will be for me there.
After 2 disastrous AFCON outings, no,
never.
Nothing of that sort.
Impact of shame is lost on us.
No, we ask our question because na no draw suffer.
Yes.
Say we name no.
Yes.
Osei Obi. We are ready for their document and we will do our part. It is not true we take support for our football association. It's only the national teams which belongs to Ghana that the government funds via the ministry and not even GFA. Obi, it is when you bring a document to the FA, that is when we will call the person to discuss. We cannot call in a vacuum. Na no draw suffer.
Well, then he doesn't believe in the policy document of the president he's serving. If he wants, I'll read the president's media strategy to him. Say if that has been achieved. But I don't want to debate Enema Ebia Obika. Shasem say, Yato Obama will mandate. also will try a solution from abontes of one afro. One would the reverse policy. Ya to Obama, one I say ubeti me ya deal way until the manifesto and a air jajo. Menya sure say we are more senior journalists, Mukushiana Nado, modern grata kono afremo.
Dabi.
Some Mukushiana Nado every year. Senior journalist, political spectrum, no. Even economic journalists, we see say you are meeting the Ministry of Economic Affairs, any trade. I am more troko. I am more responsibility no. By a framework say be amfa bibimra na mo betro. Me matro niam be brave for investigate and do be me sure say that that's been because at the juma and can change it and now you don't only need a document. So be can say more radio so. Now Jim say a yana say be opesa wo ye ni ya. Say o te ho say me intro document mra na frame. Now o na no do safo no. At the end of every month why you 4,000 cedis.
For serving on
the exco.
Executive.
Yes.
A committee and a council.
Council. Okay. Adena air form no. 5 years in no. When am me attributed to? Me am for document in my me na yemblemu me.
Yeah.
And I want mandate no. And okay. Me a journalist. Make me say it is not my responsibility to provide the document.
Yes.
It is my responsibility to assess your performance. That is my basic responsibility. Krobe as a journalist for say mo kasa nti mo fa document mra. What he be when the arrogant posture.
Asempa.
Who a minister for economic affairs and agric. You who say aduani ni omanum. Obi who index no e be a UN for year. Te say you call work up and AFCON. Obi who say pests aba cocoa so. Journalists who no report to us one for document run a friend. On the kind of posture no. What na haka kray won be. Me tenet the tenet of my job. Journalists be na say o one trust solution common penny for no one friend no. The ekoso obi ehun no you report. The obi ehun ya no you expose. Me won say na Ghana for who say ye call work up omatima ye budget $100,000 for 6 people.
For management.
We are supposed to open it. Sa na sika e wo bo mu no ba bi e kokono no. Nti se me na mentre document me what ho ahye si to ye den. Enya my responsibility no. Me dey answer me access o me try me did atem. Me access o performance. Document also me access through difficult terrain not my year. This is the posture. Generally cuts across. Wow, kasa bia unim nyansa 5 years ago I no more paper one ye ni omo nyina na fight. And we are not stopping because we are the people supposed to watch over the FA. So me can try AFCON resource open. World Cup resource ye open. AFCON be my call resource ni open. Ye league in standard open. Division 1 standard open. At this level you don't expect me say me na member me country be say Ghana Premier League you know. The flavor any the way and a level tier no. Me na me be catch you. The much wo mo niema mo ba be ye e Ghana Premier League in 5 years in there. Football niema bia no acha 5 years is too mature. Long term e bia na wa fa akra 10 years I bet it no. But short term there so we are there 5 years also mature. The biggest problem I have with this FN is say you don't see the progress be anyhow. I don't see.
But is it also the case and Vero Mebusa way is it also the case for them as ESCO members no? Maybe it's a case and so say okay how we think we are doing our best. We think we are doing something. Maybe amuna munhu in some na more kakra say a problem no. Maybe they are not aligned on say problems how you football because they think was a Michelle comment na no do safo at the bar that is the impression I get. Say is it the case or more as ESCO no thing say Charlie FIFA sike buy e journalists like you should know in the monsem na more can we are really not aligned. Is that the feeling you also get?
It's either they have lost touch or they do not care or they are happy to live in a bubble because through the ordinary Ghanaian in himself league nkuyi. How come what is wrong unhunesa?
So if you say watch balls.
Watch balls.
What you mean sponsors when your balls at clubs.
Balls ne boots normal so much na $100,000. I FIFA forward way.
Oh okay.
Sika.
Okay.
So 100,000 times 6 and any pass 6 edge World Cup. It is say ball wasa for hene. Say match balls na a part of development na 100,000. Na so what me the 100,000 each individual sisa. 100,000 or the bon wasa for him, but 600,000 for 6 people. No sama yenka. Catch me. How does that make sense? It doesn't, because some say a praise you for giving footballs. Anyone say you will mandate directly. Now one person can say that extra 500,000 it could have done so much. Then you have lost touch. You do not understand the reality. I have seen and saying FA president Tembiano because I say, oh, we see the challenges in the game. We are trying to fix it. The year bisane say then challenges. Bono e homa ye nyina omo ya ade aye besoa omo en shakoko mu enka say challenges a wonko a wo hunie. They are stakeholders. Inti ana supporters no moka say enkoye na say de mama ye ninje na ye bet say na ye enuti ni intimi stadium and all of those no omo so for documents emra ansa na efi ehu said de ekoso no enkoye ana. This posture must change, because you see every time a question go for say me mako 47 countries. And this is something I say so often. If you check my pages on socials, make me see BBC does FIFA that. Ni na football na dia me. Be me fi e ba be dru krom ha no. Enya nyame adom ene baller. Obi enka microphone yi. Hey, metie keke wo radio so me ma metna na order. So I understand what football can do. So I say there are problems or challenges. Na a narrow way of seeing it. It's a big deal, because how are you developing football? Not student athlete. Where do they fall in? Ball na because student athlete. And come ho and crown more streets no. More clubs no. They don't get it. Really, should premier clubs be getting footballs and boots? That's not what they need. Development has started from a very, very tender age and different facets. And he say narrowing just to praise yourself. You can praise yourself, but in the end, no, you got tournament and I say you league now, you'll be exposed. Slogans there, but you see, there comes a time I share who in the mirror, you bet make no crash tray and I say you bet made in trash tray. The FA is at a point where they like just the praise singers, but in this world, praise singers and kwa Emma won't go any match. And I hope that they have that understanding, the earlier the better. Because a Ghana football, whether a queens no and a princesses and I say whatsoever, ye did home. Because a baby fro, oh yes, story, mommy. Before AFCON, na organization be a contacting me from every Spain. Or be me ye inaki.
Okay.
No story, man.
Okay.
You know, give and take. Me ye those stories are a lot of dollars in the In the end, no, all this while inaki me settle with him anymore. Into the story angle they were looking for was not there. Ghana and Shadanya de into ye lose in a way. Into some meka ball asem with a lot of passion. Mekama shoemaker na onya access to platform no. Mekama Roman sofuna and now the two Facebook say the way forward is to save Ghana football. Mekama me papa with na pulpits mu a preacher or say boy you cry mama ye na ye basa ye hu ni yenka. It's for all of us. And that is what I want them to know. Yes, I'd say this protest, yako and pay for any security and pay for any man. There was a manner or no soon results winty. Besides, say, I don't know what say a bassa, me community ametimo, and ne Ghana bobo na ti gola. It's because I yasha Ghana. It doesn't have to be so. Ubisa. And I'm a washing baby and sana meba. The boys were like, I omokano maji scanning na zikaka seni na namo de ya kuma diago. Ye energy. It should matter. So our primary stakeholders are speaking this way. So for all of us, especially the conveners, they are running say football ancestor, because you see football policy go beyond DNA.
Sure.
Recently, me read the interview Biana Mula, can say, in Germany, we are taught from a young age to play for each other. That is why when the Ballon d'Or lists come, you do not see the individuals, because we play as a group. And on the success now, there has to be a policy. Or policy will integrate a whole lot of things. Would DNA just a minute part of the policy. Because maybe I remember to say your football DNA agro. Then multi-system man and so by night I demon so by. So are we merging or what? But it's just a tiny fraction of the policy we are asking for. So I beg the FA and others who feel so entitled. Say nay, obi ase on mass stadium, obi abuefo or bring back the love slogan no ebe ka social media enye hwe. And I say won hia o stakeholders and ka blaster say ko bowo Cape Coast won nyina wo mankesim say players no fraternize kakra. All of that matters. All of that matters. Nti omunya asumpemo obi anhwehwe some be faili. Omo faili a ye nyina ya faili. Because I had people call me Ghana ezete and almost 3.
Yeah.
Sanyo mano ehadwen and crabby brew ho omoko school omo ye talented or omo ye gifted. There is no system that integrates them into a real school asa. A reatama oko obo school team. There are a lot of encrofa omo follow of onya injury near they on me more coaching ewo ho. If we have a route, there are a lot of countries our more partnership these days. It is an strength your coaching. We could explore those physiotherapy, all manner of things. My football economy no, really big. And until I can say, your person conversation is free the very top.
Okay.
President. Okay. I'm for we say, oh, the damo and more if you say you call another competition in 17 months or Morocco. We are hoping say you sa competition, but I want people to understand that. Say you qualify for Morocco as you see. Yeah. Obi, young 2018 World Cup, or Russia. I prefer say young qualify for some competitions. And what is the guarantee that we'll even qualify for those competitions? World Cup na you woman and AFCON no. I prefer say young qualify for some competitions. So now you be put your house in order.
Very important.
Now, from 5 years now, you name say, okay, this is where we are, this is what we can expect and all that. But at this moment, say any star biara, say when the puzzle will never become complete. And I think that is the problem we are faced. We are faced with a unique opportunity. Ebimo say, nasa normalization by and yetuaba. I also want to remind people, say, football, I do in 15 years. I cover more than 10 World Cups and AFCON. I was there when Ben Kofi was in power. Nyaho Tamaklu. Me when you call FIFA was Zurich. Obia more time. I decided say a new path. Yeah, a new path for the FA. I drew say a government appointment near Bayer election. And don't see how all of that work. The American say. Who here say you been on the right for the first time after an expose, there was this kind of feeling in town. Oh, nyantechi, why say, and it's based on that, no normalization by and here Jane say and you my best son. But a football people yana dictate the pace. We have the evidence to show that you cannot completely leave it in the hands of the football people, and all of us are stakeholders for that matter. And it is important that once and for all, we have a unique opportunity. Let's not waste it.
Fantastic. Inti, Sadiq, I'll come back to you as we wrap up. Now, it is here on Wednesday. After the walk, are you presenting a petition? A day on Wednesday.
Well, Wednesday, there were 10 to 15 pointers. So as conveners, put it together. Document na mini apenyu dressa for ebisano. The right quarters, including conflict of interest, how we can weed out conflict of interest from our game, especially people who are on executive committee and also on the chair of national teams, having clubs with their players playing in the national teams with coaches who are not paid. The coach is not paid, hired by the executive council. Members of the executive council have clubs.
Players,
the coaches are not paid. So how vulnerable?
But no would mean say we have to pull down the entire structure, because if we say to become an FA member, you should be a football person. You should be a club owner. And you should be affiliated to a club. Then the conflict of interest, it is the foundation on which this system is built.
Well, if we don't get rid of the conflict of interest as well, we should as well forget about reaching the top. Because a human institution, and they are aware of the battle to get our players in national teams. They are aware. Reason why we will pick under 15 in 2016. Now, a 5 years time, you be under 20. 50 of the under 15 team, no under 20. I just say you have failed. Why? And you change your team. Progress na can be say a call 2021 AFCON a failure. Nanka unim say your West AFCON in year build it. In Tinka 2023 AFCON players are the almost 60% of them no man could be. San yes abim. Until 1 year conflict of interest, 2 year lack of transparency.
Yeah.
Say your sponsors are boy a national team on behalf of the people. You better walk up, you better the entire budget from government. You who be a sponsorship. This issue was there during Muntaka's time. Issue has been there during Inlante.
Yes.
Asiamata. The ministers do not probe. It's a national team, no? According to the Commission of Inquiry, you are managing it on behalf of the people. Unya sponsorship, and you only will fear for there. A Ghana 4 team now, the sponsorship. And in some cases, Cameroon, Guinea, sponsorship on ammonia or national team, no, will be declared trial buying.
There should be accountability. And there should be a giving. Do
you know? Because what the OT baby, do you know how much we got from sponsorship from the World Cup?
It's shocking
and where that went.
Why we should even be debating this?
When you question
sponsorship with the national team, will be yes.
Why
would this happen?
A big companies in they will declare how much we are paying, but the small ones they won't. They say confidentiality. The only people who know. More Congress. Obisube Busa say, I don't know demonstration. Now Busa Neman ya 15. The disbandment of some management, national team management. One of the biggest problems. Because I know now we are president. What about boy man for our motto about numbers? No team be you obey 15 national teams or so. Obi our 7 and our 6. 4 times it.
Committee members.
Our managing national team or over 10 to 12 backroom staff. What are they managing?
They are a management committee of NIPA 7.
Abra German national team will be a more management board with 1 coordinator for all the national teams. Germany. And yet Germany, African countries,
and your interest to be how is this difficult to do? I didn't just collapsing some management committees and then getting a coordinator. Why is it difficult to do? So your interest, okay, yaba we mun the campaign, my indians you baby fan for this should not be difficult to do.
Bo mudis omon kwaye ejuma wo national team ne backroom staff and no cry problematic and some about management.
There are no protocols in place. Discretionary will be at me for be
do attempts here, but you need standard. Omo normalization committee. Omo adhere to kwan ye be fa so be select people into their national team. Qualifications was a war and san work we adwuma of Black Stars. The highest level. MS5 only was also because FA president be Adam for. Ebia wakoye ne niema of France why say no diaba. We a friend is saying team medical doctor, we a team manager, we equipment officer. And niema was a why ye nie. Na waba ho untimi mba se Black Stars. Black satellite, Black Meteors. Yabo di we Veronica come here down for ntie de waba. See ye ne say ye be say ye team no.
And that is the result
result hu no bi beka say oh spiritual and I say ye self-inflicted problems. We are not creating the highest standard for the national team. Friends, cronies. National team management ni nyina the same thing. We are calling for the disbandment
of all the management.
If we set up, to our proposal, and there was 7-member board, or national team management board, now back a coordinator, because more backroom staff. Into management, no
team be a team manager.
Obia team manager. Into management, and a Juma Ben or mu yentia, it me was 6 for one national team 6. Now multimat now na player akwa HT. Na obi ehu
and a voluntary job crank Kenya ya almost expect say tournament bi omenyes kanibi
why we nunti me say ade a me pese nya at the end of this ade we ni say me Black Star players no they bring ni medin kop
okay
at the end of this see etumi nya end of this management committee ni nya honest 1 or 2 people so mu lead the Black Stars akọ tournament Obi I'm telling you say we want to get to a point where Black Star players will say we are not negotiating. Because media from where I sit, this appearance fee saga, it is because of the management. They prepare the budget to pay the players because that is the only justification to pay themselves. If the players are not receiving appearance fee, you cannot pay.
That's true.
And say you will see a committed Black Stars team. Say bo omo so omo do makuma mo bo. Ye share ya ne ahye. Ni ehun sa afede ye nkotueska over 8 million, if I say 800,000 in bonuses. Abra young progressive from group
stage.
Now, Omoko Bono fine who say ye were committed players. She Nigeria de, she Cote d'Ivoire, she say the players Mauritania, any other teams. Do you see that when you watch the Black Stars? We want to get to a point that only patriotic people will lead. Say ya bo obidi the Black Stars and inform tournament. Wouldn't say koda hotel free ubedi the free. At the end of the tournament, it be a amount $2,000. Say enona ye dia reward you. Instead of say we prepare budgets, yet you play a 100,000 or some 100,000. Ye more 80,000. The only way, and almost we nipa players no. Some of them take the bonuses and share it at the hotel. So why do you tell me say prepare budget ama inaki ansa na wakuno ho? Inaki amaha me pesca, wo management na wo pesca. Sika no so yenim se omoje a omotiti bi ma mpanyimfo bi a omonka ho. So let's prepare huge budget. Now wo wonim se won deserve nti oje a you take half and give to me. National team na ba be a place a man for the lutu sika. Enti your best stop pesa de no nyina se the document ne kwa yenim say
16-point document
15 point 10 to 15 okay. Some of them are a merge because a point in here almost the same well. And then people who are questioning demonstration so kai Super League European Super League
yes
clubs now more Europe ni nyina ya individuals bi dia obi anywhere national team they own clubs when they say they wanted to go and join Super League you can read from CNN, any other websites. Almost say, Super League collapses. How fan reaction, revolt helped end English clubs break away. And then my UEFA increase Champions League money or double no. It is supporters. Chelsea na nyane hon was owner. Also be join Super League. Supporters no mere consumers. No say yeah na me about your club. If you are playing in an empty stadium, oh Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I no mo fan say omo empty stadium no they are okay. Fans no mo na mo consumers. On Wednesday ye pese mo ba. Mo am betimi agya mo adwuma ba be support to say from now. Me sister Verodi o ka say Morocco bia ya qualify me say Ghana we have the capacity. Say ye dey no kura ye adwuma. Ye betimi abo AFCON akọ final age. Say ye dey no kura. Adi nkra ni nuama difference be ne wo. Se ku Fofana ne ho boy no patch say Ghana ni players. But the way I'm paying for no no. Omo na patriotic spirit no omo na killing the first because omo kono sika gene na wo mutrim. If we change it, we will see our players getting committed. Maybe the process to win the AFCON in Morocco for Ketokreku is what will be starting on Wednesday. The process to rebuild our league. Say minister yes onyai. What be minister of sports from Wednesday kono. Journalists said there is a law a chair will say men sign approve budget and you wadwuma no FA's budget and money expert of the NSA international mon prepare almost be sure other countries or AFCON or ma situating with the value of the competition no ma prepare budgets all federations do that with the NSA why is it that when it comes to the GFA or prepare budget no ma connive with the ministry no ma sign the omo pay no mo de call we are saying say we a minister would your policy. Don't go and sit in the room and increase a budget at GFA preparing because they don't deserve it. We increase now so the account. At the end of the day, 9.5 million, 8.5 million, $10 million for an AFCON. You be no, ye free more semi-final. Not the Okoji tournament, no. You are spending 4 times the same team. I think that mediocrity should end with Ghana football. And the man I can open committee report at the Aba. Commission report yare hashi bebre ya ye putting it together say we will force them to implement the entire ministry no there is a law act I govern your sponsor blatantly breachy law no because there is money to be made every 2 years or 1 year from tournaments.
Very well.
Yeah.
Sadiq Medda say very finally
the roots. So Ebasa Wednesday joining that Basha black.
Okay.
You best start with Obra Sports.
Dubai. Circle Dubai. Time being a motion.
You best start 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
8 a.m. near started. Okay. You know more you be Pia Salam down.
Okay.
Now for your Kofa Accra Regional Hospital.
Okay.
Near the PAU runabout.
Okay.
I walk Castle Road.
Yes.
You be from Akopie Ghana Football Association.
Okay.
Now you Akopie wa Parliament House.
Okay.
And then you have a Ministry of Youth and Sports near Yewo. The Independence Square. Inti so ba Mr. We a bro MPP ni NDC
sure. Party colors be any.
Into what party color fatne fie me patchwara. Born ye dia. Ekoya kromu ye de.
Yes.
Inti uba ho a born nti na wo ba. Boko ni nante Now you register exactly what we want to put across. Now after that, no, you share DBC. It's a Mr. Ghana for Mumpie.
Obia, if you are passionate about this game, said you who say Cote d'Ivoire for year far, we need to also do same in this country. In the IMPA, na let's register our displeasure. Now omo we see 2-1 amon. Yema on pressure. Emo munye de was say omo into Wednesday on the 14th, a Vals Day. And they come and show your love for Ghana football. Na yem protest 8 a.m. Pepe na start here from a brass sport. The afa kwaya Veronica Meye Huno. Eswinti Veronica ne Sadik mamena mo ase. After the demonstration, we'll talk again. Thank you. Now, if we go into detail on more 15-point proposals to the FA, na Ghana for you know the yenso ye pese FA no eyemayin. I wish you all the best. Nyame adoma Wednesday mo be hunu.
Oh, jina mo de. Me notice as a button.
Me nua panyi odru safo say me use word be say arrogant posture of omo. Men refer to ono personally, but as the FA said, they now care about media. Sure. But if he feels offended, yes, so if he feels offended, I think the way a coin on yes, I'm a metre, but me panacho. Because now what's now radio so can say also a proposal free me home. Now me say imagine this car. No boy. Me friend now no patch on never me are no. Mate me panacho.
Mate sorry madam was say Ekosiisen high Asempa FM. You better ni ho ba the honorable Sam Nate George MP Ningo Pram abekansa e studio high no e shase edin komo. Stay with us.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future, a Pan-African future. Together, EcoBank, a better way, a better Africa.
Medical school papa bia metumi di kofiako. Oh Fifi, anything away when in Bosano. Any media semesio. The College of Medicine and Allied Sciences, COMAS, a degree awarding institution. Our Ghana here. Omoya programs to set Bachelor of Medicine and a Bachelor of Surgery using the Graduate Entry Medical Program GEM, Bachelor of Diagnostic Imaging, and a BSc Health Information Management. Sa programs here na Ghana Tertiary Education Commission Ajiatum. One bilingual curriculum no SCSO. Senior Beya, Obetimia consulti wo French. Media, so mobile crown hami. Cecia Cradie, one more year admission so. And one is over from. I was 0208 456 556. And now send one more email. I will info@commerce.edu.gh. Put me also follow on. I will Facebook and our Instagram at info.commerce. Commerce, the citadel of a holistic professional medical education.
Senior won't you how TBR. We hear syntax tanko. Free say, syntax tank to me jine a ream sakra bia. Empire ne bonus so ye kama say. Unim say, syntax tank ne di kan ye double layer tanko Ghana. Unim also say, syntax tank korea. Any di kan ye tank muda hokai. Emu fite. Na say adie, ubeti match size, color, type, biara wope. Syntax tank, beyamau. Na nini ne chino. Ekita 7 years warranty you. Wumpewe, na open dien. Frakra, it was 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666. Syntax tank, emu dahokai. Syntax tank, eye strong, eye tough.
Semi sorry no pa. Kale Chaco toothpaste na me de twitwi missing. And mommy confidence. The money nyina.
Se wusia ama na me sifite guso na mesrea. Eya wanwahu. Me de Kale Chaco toothpaste. Ene twitwi missing. Obo ade ni pa e wo bidie mu no. Ene e dia ye Kale Chaco toothpaste. E boy sin ho ban. E free mowa e boy sin mu tokro. E sin ahye ene enumunka. Sure say amani Kale Chaco toothpaste so nie. Yeti center for.
Media magical Chaco toothpaste at tubu. Me shina no pa na dwa me kodano. E ma me sinye fita. Confidence level kwaso entibi na ma. Na me si 32 ni na guso.
enkane no ane maame nom di bidie twitwiri yense no asaya bebie mu bidie wo kel charcoal toothpaste mu no MSC fita emana hoden ne sayi nkabia ma wonum ye hwam enunti mu amonom coffee wine any tobacco e kamoseso no abama mo kel charcoal toothpaste sankofa yenchi
Kel, happy smile.
enkratoi FDA agiatum.
Dive into a new era of news consumption with myjoyonline.com, your go-to destination for cutting-edge journalism, giving you the most credible stories from business to politics and from sports to entertainment. Myjoyonline.com introduces an upgraded news website meticulously designed to empower you with an enriched browsing experience like never before. Intuitive navigation. Navigate through an array of revamped categories that cater to all interests. Join the conversation with our interactive comments section. Get live TV,
confidence of the football community.
radio, can actually borrow, and podcast of your favorite TV and radio shows on Joy and Adom platforms. Powerful search. Find any story with ease with a simple click. Access precisely what you're looking for. Experience the future of news browsing with myjoyonline.com.
One tough question. The ultimate game show is here. What game are you willing to play to win some money? What question are you willing to answer to win some money? Join us on One Tough Question, where the strongest and the smartest battle in quizzes and games. Don't miss the suspense, the laughter, and the edge of your seat moment with your host, Lydia Forsin. Showing Monday to Thursday at 9 p.m. on Aquaba Magic, DSTV channel 150 and GoTV channel 102. Dial star 759 hash to stay connected.
Sidia Cassia Gana for your power jet battery on a Noquari. And Fissa Metomeka, Master battery by the discover power jet battery. What? Mekanya Missy Kwamubi. Many battery issue at Tonquanta by you. And it says, many power jet battery ambassador, me Momuna Profoca Quansma jump over here. Namaka for power jet battery, Momo who say, battery Mugwa, power jet car battery. The Rocks Ventures Nako Faba, Omwa Shalom Sport Runabout, War Community 18, Sprinters Road, Frelmo 0208 090 789 and 0242 314 774. Obenya Biswa Shama, Kuanaso, Ochinanti Enterprise, Afi, Battery Shop will be a Wabusoka, Kumasi, Kwame Choba Enterprise, Pampaso, and a battery shop will be a Waswame Mazi, Amako, Macro Junction, Every Caswako Winneba Junction, Swedro, Magazine, Takra, the Jasper Bia, Power Jet Battery Day, Power Jet Car Batteries, oh, put that day. OneXBet. Bonuses are kesiye. Odds are kakraka. And kunim di nkwa. Download the OneXBet app no. Na ye deposit ninya 300% bonus. It will do 3,445 Ghana cedis. Upe na upe die. To make a register with onexbet.com.gh. Na use promo code Welcome Ghana. Ninya welcome bonus will first deposit so. OneXBet ma ube brave. Gambling one true tikani washe you. Nya ma wa wundi if you do what. Gaming Commissioner Jinka to we atum.
Hey, you're the up and coming landlord. Who died yes where you?
Kwame, I done me you. I can roofing and a ceiling. Na me contract anon so say. Me feni na en kwadan rocksters. Won so wo kromo pan. Wo dwen ho sen.
Wo contract an won nimne akọ. Ghana ha de e ba no quality metal trusses, roofing sheet, plasterboard and POP ceiling dia. Aye rocksters. Enfie bebre ni na rocksters. Ade roofing sheet papa ne ho aka de asum Ghana for.
Enka ye say ya no mu die nso ebo.
Eni adufudi achi na nkoto ade bone ne Sundache, Fre 0544 338041. Say a metal trusses, roofing sheet, plasterboard and POP cylinder. Fre Rocksters, now one chawuntum.
No matter your size, duration, or preference, there's an option for you. With Flame Condoms, protect yourself, turn up the heat, and enjoy maximum pleasure. Give her an experience of ecstasy, exotic and extra pleasures with studded and ripped textures, vanilla and strawberry flavors for essential high, and a delay gel for longer pleasure. Go harder, go longer. Do the most with all the extra Flame offers. Keep it lit. Turn up the heat. Get your Flame condoms from pharmacies and over-the-counter medicine sellers. This advert is FDA approved.
OneXBet.
Bonuses are kesie. Odds are kakraka. Any kunim die nkwa. Download the 1xBet app no. Na your deposit ninya 300% bonus. It will do 3,445 Ghana cedis. Jack open way now open die. To make a register with 1xBet.com.gh. Now use the promo code Welcome Ghana. Ninya welcome bonus will first deposit. So 1xBet ma be brave. Gambling one truth can wash you. Yeah, man, what would if you do what? Jamie Commissioner Jim Krato atum.
Ghana Post.
Hey, now no pay one year. What kasa welcome music. And you my brother, Mr. Happiness and Hame. Me see what who say Ghana Post I fast, reliable and affordable. See, now say na no my any de. E dwanya kuma mi di. E de kwama no e fa Ghana Post. We dini na. Ene se wasa aswan masakodi dwa. Me de kwa Ghana Post yo. We Kobi kakra, Ajene kakra, Akrantia so shasiye. Ghana Post.
The most affordable delivery option for food and merchandise from Ghana to everywhere in the world. Connect with us today and see for yourself. Ghana Post. Smart, secure deliveries.
Mensaka the package, no. In less than 5 days, Ghana Post, they make life the big. Ghana Post will deliver to you wherever you are in the world.
Dachimbo Gani, Masanso Ababim, Sese Kingdom Home Real Estate Development Limited. I am for Kramaye. Hey, Caneno, so Benya Sasi, ever a pre and I say Cropon, Nem Pobit Messu Dariano, a moon Samu Ayapi. Nanso Enadie, Kingdom Home Real Estate, SCC Adana Riekra, or 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom houses are West Area Waton, and a 2-bedroom apartment, Nina be Ewo, and Sony Kania Sodi, a float 247, Neba security some de Abambo, and yet Mudakra, CCTV cameras, a Tramweshia, na a was serene environmental, a good weather condition pa. Dear Nijini, dear Nikane say, so it's an estate anymore, not to the site, I would go a Tramweshia, a bit to say, a brief Botanical Gardens, Boti Falls, Aqua Safari Resort, and also a Bentete Kwashi Hospital and also, and Tisawati Kingdom Home Real Estate dia, not with you fear and Casa. Enti, Minuanuma Mufra Bridge Laba, Namope be a good weather condition what Aqua Quatnadi, Mumbra, and Naso Pesor Todine, and the Mamma Mini Poppy, better baby or Masumba Juamodia, and your Black Kingdom Home Real Estate, and your Irakwan Kra, you will be a well coupon and a Binsuwa a Brie, Ufri Adenta Econ, a 30-minute drive with pet, no word, one more a dinosaur. Dear 444 and tis our pedine at Todia and your Freyan CA Freyan Accra office no I was 0240 521 276 and now so bit my friend a Cropon office I was 0555 612 611 Kingdom Home Real Estate Development Limited Kasa.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future. Together. EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.
Aqua Safari Resort Nancy, and your mamma come is soon who Minya or Aqua Safari Resort for Front and Show. So, what do Aqua Safari to my phone again, Nigenis at Joe. Now, what do 24 hours bachelor no at show? Ya in nature from go and so much you may be able to say jet ski rides, kayaking, water sliding, flyboarding, and a cast net fishing. And in Naka, you made your wood Pierre Aqua Safari. Mark 24.5 for non found go for taste bonting on your every year. Who no one and no man who rather for Fesu. I don't know one diagram, no more Indiana. Me mom dear, me nyani just strong. Na means me trains and me sign with Chako Aqua Safari Resort view.
Anytime I feel lonely, feeling sad, only one station makes me happy. When I wake up in the morning, only this station makes my day. Asempa FM. Asempa FM. Oh, Asempa FM. Asempa FM. 94.7.
94.7 Asempa FM Sony Ekosiisen Dwumedie no asugusu a wotie no ma yana mu nyina ase ne yensan so mama kwaba emfa momra dwumedie so medin di Osei Bonsu fremi obi. Check with your time, 35 minutes after 3. It's your birthday today, Emmanuel Nanaya Obuedi Jr. Emmanuel Nanaya Obuedi Jr. It's from your dad, Officer Buedi of Bawe Top Base, National Ambulance Service personnel. And I'm told you are 26 years today, Emmanuel Nanaya Obuedi Jr. Happy birthday to you, and live to be 94.7 and beyond. And ma yenshana yentwaso. Let me see. It's also your birthday, SD Odro, popularly known as ranking member or NPP Belgium on our branch secretary into SD Odro, ranking member. Happy birthday to you, and live to be 94.7 and beyond. Let me welcome the Honorable Sam Nate George, MP for Ningo Pram constituency. Honorable Akwaba na pom to saying
Jusimia obi afishapa
papa commentary afisa say na
apomo afisa say dia na John Mahama ni first appointment of ministers to run the next government
by the 12th of January and not February 2025. Now was sworn in a real
more than 1 month. Now there should be the parliament should be getting ready to vet his first set of nominees.
Which I hope you would be part of, right?
John Mahama but we will contribute our quota in whichever role we find ourselves.
So mostly no say ube members of the minority likely says about party ba power umbenya position. It depended the committees almost survey also and their roles on that committee. In your case, so several I know of the communications committee, right?
Yes.
And which other committee?
Public accounts.
Oh, public account.
The past few weeks have been asking simple questions. That
are you sure? Are you sure? Say simple.
Oh, Obi. Say maybe that say which year will you turn 60? Who to how to me year no? So you
no,
can do the
calculation. Yes,
it's a very simple question.
No, say nipa no. I can say a private edemano.
A very private. I buy a month for no. That's why I want to share. The taxes that people pay is what pays you. Sure. How can I be private? And maybe some many of PK now team in China, he was leading that course. Because I say, now parliamentarians. As I said, the public pays us. Our date of birth, our hometowns. Maybe everybody academic qualification. Now our parliament website. And say, how can a public officer who earns public salary say basic information to say age private. There's nothing private.
But did you have any information about the age and because I know say for such public officers no ABI or 1060 the mandatory legal age for retirement it means I man contract extension.
Article 199 and stipulated the age for retirement in Ghana. 1991 say would be 60 I say call retirement. 1992 say would be 45 from 45 we bet me call voluntary retirement. And 1993 say would be 60 or man paying bet to me extend it up to a maximum of 5 years but not more than 2 years at a time. Until bet to me 1 year and 2 year contract. Until the 199 of the constitution is clear. Then I maybe say I asked the follow-up question after almost 1.5 hours or answer a question was with the 62 or by the 63 I feel way. Now the question is would that so our position it's not a crime. Say with the 63 would that so controller general it's not a crime. But it will be a crime and an offense. Say would that so a bra who need contract. Because the constitution says would the 60 I say amount contract. And the question we need to ask ourselves and they say send controller and accountant general payroll system net no would this 60 year would ding is automatically deleted from the payroll as I say you're no longer supposed to be on the payroll so that's how we try to take out ghost names and stuff and say with the 60 now for 2 years and 3 months would that so a jumemu even if you were to get a contract, your first contract would have been maximum 2 years. So you should be on your second contract. And the information now he confirmed with his answer and they said for 2 years, 3 months, he's been at post without a contract. and he's been drawing salary, and
meaning say his name is not been deleted from the controllers.
So it means that Obikacho says, see, I want the digitization. I clear ghost names now. I caught a ghost at the public account because per the way the public service works and the controller and accountant general works, without a contract, your name can't be reinserted beyond 60. And a banner for that period of time, 2 years, 3 months, or that's any salary. You get the question, and those were the critical issues. And you cannot when you some deputy director be and not director be of some he's
the main man.
This is the main man for revenue, the controller general of the Ghana Revenue Authority, which must say any poskito. You understand? He's the chief revenue mobilizer for government. And how do you keep somebody at post in such a sensitive, critical position for more than 2 years after their retirement age without a contract? And in all of this period, he's busy signing very funny contracts. SML, trying to sign a new contract with that's supposed to be between some Axon whatever, some Ghanaian company, Axon, Jiffy, say the Bema Tatani, IPMC. I mean, some kind of funny things going on at the GRA, and I mean, the past few weeks, the kind of information I've gotten on the GRA, information generators are warmer to. Can you imagine, say, GRA got generators with your taxpayers' money for 2 years? Woman abandoned generators, brand new generators, over 40 generator sets abandoned at a warehouse at North Industrial Area for 2 years.
Generators to do what?
Generators that were supposed to, they claimed they were buying generators for all their offices, their main offices across the country. Already, we've shared generators, we've shared prices now. You see how inflated the prices are. Omakoji invoice for Cummins Ghana, which is a known Ghanaian generator company. Generator na Cummins in the turn of 100,000 and Oma 160,000. And then they are buying 5 of that. Over 60 generators. 40 to 60 generators thereabout. Okay, fine. Why inflate price? No, because they use a shadow company to do it. Generators, no, you are deliver generators. No, must deliver or warehouse be not industrial. It's been at the disposal of the sun and rain for 2.5 years. Nobody has moved the generators. And it's as though say obi refise generators are. And this is a GRA that is supposed to be raising revenue for us. And this is being headed by a man who has no contract. So there are very critical issues in that way.
And for his specific issue, committee, because him says sittings area, you sit as members of the committee to then decide recommendations. What are you recommending for him to be done to?
We're still in those set of sittings. So about 3 weeks of sitting. City we are. Then the committee puts everything together. Then we do an exit conference. Then our recommendations are now sent to plenary.
Sure.
I think that Parliament need number bobo who you better defend a report, and then Parliament bet to me directives on the basis of that. And you see, it's important because engineer Nana Tuata, local government service, on also by Yabisano, or say, oh, me more contract because on also the 62. On also the 62, or that's all. A be move ban next this week because of France sending for date of birth, birth certificates. What even makes this more important, more troubling? They say in 2020, President Akufo-Addo Esuma the finance minister say Umbra Parliament. Oba no say President Akufo-Addo say ma obi already 60 contract
bill.
Obi enkofie.
And it's on record.
It's on record. I have a copy of the letter. With this 60 akofie. The only reason I ever extended a contract and say you have a skill that is essential and in short demand. Yet it's becoming evident say President Akufo-Addo came to say one thing through the finance minister and he's doing another thing. They are giving contracts. Obia sending me someone's contracts. Nipa need the 60 Yaman contract. You ask yourself, say, Ejuma are you telling me that there's nobody in Ghana who can do this? I don't have a problem with people over 60. There are people who are over 60 who are still very sharp. Okay, but nobody asked the president to come and make that commitment. On one case, yes, our commitment. I'm a media for Bonsu. What we can't check Ghana for say may say. No. I mean, it smacks of a lack of principle and honesty.
Yeah, it's true. And I think that's why again that media traction it to me. And I think the fact that he differed in giving an answer
now to a question. Now, time now, no, I've been a crash. Was making rain in heaven. Now you're
it's really so. The park has been exciting the last few weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, because after that, the following week, I had the back and forth with the sports authority director.
Yes. For the Akoso questions, responses, what is your impression about the public service in general?
It's rotten.
For everything you've heard,
it's rotten.
Public service,
extremely rotten. Obi, in fact, let me catch up here, committee chairman, and say, I feel some of the people intentionally allow infractions so that they can come before the Public Accounts Committee. Really? Because Obi, a bit more free Western North, free Volta region, free Upper East, Upper West, Eba. Now you look at infraction now, Wamuba committee name for no. The whole infraction, about 6,000 Ghana cedis. But Nipa 4, every district no, and now agency no, Abakra. So every umba appear Tuesday, I umba simu Sunday. Now we do Monday.
Yeah.
Now oma ye but Tuesday. Now umba simu Wednesday. Now umba could do Thursday. Until we shall be 4-5 days out of station allowance obeji. Accommodation obeji hotel obeda na dan for ho Accra obedi feeding allowance. Nipa ba kono ni expenses agency no be won so ye be 5,000. Nipa 4 now ma ba no 20,000. They're coming to they've spent 20,000 from the taxpayers' money
to come and defend
an infraction of 6,000. Because that 20,000 no mukotokum. And you know the interesting thing is you ask yourself, say, now be some say, so do you have the documents to back it? I auditors no last week. Now, as we speak, we are doing reports of 2022 and entering 2023. Now it means these audits were done in 2021 or 2022 over 2-3 years. Say you be auditor, me MP. Auditors ba auditing me MP's common fund.
Okay.
And I've gone through the process. One did 2 weeks or assembly hall. And in 2 weeks they raise all the issues and give you the opportunity to respond with all the necessary documents. For example, me a MP, makoto me the common fund ato football jerseys.
Yes.
And yachiche ama sport clubs ewo ho. E say obi sign na auditors no bar. Who say Sam George to justice 20. And now auto fridge 5. Why na OJ? They are at liberty to call at random any of the people on that list to confirm say eyampa so that any say Sam George be kokope obi din keke na wachro. Eyampa say abansi car. Ye dey share assembly or Sam George ni din that so as MP's common fund you know. Or they are here nya or say or they are here. Now, when they call, they want to get verification. It's possible, say, at times, Sanyamano, Ebia me as MP wa cry, ya frame. Makachen pan say, call assembly ho, my fresh stores, release the money pano, nipano call one sign. Until Obebano stores, because oh, ya this best way ban MP, 18, aka 2. Hey, why we check and I say, oh, Asempa groups me anyway, one fan back. And auditors no be for evidence on our certificate. We to me a free uncrofono. If they really received it, they will come and testify and say, oh, just in the picture I suggest in the bobo ni and a fridge no any they go and inspect. And then that is certified in 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, auditors ne free hoa. They go and prepare their reports at the regional office or district office and let you have a draft report after 2 weeks. Until 4 weeks abe more. Within those 4 weeks, you can still bring documents to correct it before they send to the regional office. They do an exit conference with you after 1 month. And then it then goes to region and national. You still have the opportunity to follow up for almost 2 months before the report is done. You have at least a year before the Public Accounts Committee will sit on it. But the week before one bebano and some documents no surface. Obi, who are we deceiving in this country? And you see, Obi, it's worrying because when you look at what is happening in 2016, the total amount of infractions, you see, you do a total amount of infractions. It doesn't mean it's all money lost. But the total amount of infractions in the public service was 700 million Ghana cedis. 700 million in 2016. In 2022, the total infractions was 12.5 billion. Wow. So from less than 1 million in 2016, from less than 1 billion, you are talking over 12 billion. 12 billion at today's exchange rate is $1 billion. Oh, IMF now a DH rate for 3 years. No, you're saying. IMF now a DH rate for 3 years. No, you're saying. How much did they give Ghana for this second tranche? They stretched government like that. 600 million. But infractions in our public sector alone in 2022, 1 year, 1 billion. Obi. Who are we deceiving in this country? The problems of this country are clear. I'm not saying politicians are not corrupt. Politicians are also very corrupt. But our public sector is rotten. Bisa won't say minister bia beko ministry bia na is scandal. Yeah, can sports hunsem. The bia minister beko sports. In fact, are you aware that under the NDC in 8 years we had 7 sports ministers? Sure. The highest turnover in any ministry. I think ministers no. Yeah, you say we a sports minister. Now you work or shed them. Say. Dream it is because the people there, the system there is corrupt and it corrupts you. And if you don't have a certain moral standing, you fall for it. And when you choose not to fall for it, they will set you up like they did to Muntaka. Like they did to Muntaka. Me Muntaka, they know, Monsieur Yansan Frimo. Because you see, what you want to be a nyama bro. Oh, we full coupon ye now was sign. We wait ye now was sign.
Another big thing, baby.
That crow one by chain would now come now. Now the diapers, any chinga ashame. Would you wouldn't say there be a woman the banner was signed. And so when I was in the office of the president, I never took 4 coupons. When I served as a presidential staff, I never took 4 coupons. I'm in my 8th year in parliament. I've never taken any of the office supplies that parliament gives. Because me person sign for BBR. Because who started say who sign here? But bisa won say ensure ni biscuit ni tea nyama no ansa na obedi MP no
na ultimate
pen ni paper ni ade de eno na ultimate na was start say who sign na e be abeshe mama no
and I think it's also good you served on a committee like the Public Accounts Committee, so you see at first hand some of the
rot in the system is just horrible. It's just horrible.
And it seems there is no end in sight.
Obi.
It doesn't look like it. Maybe I say you pull it down the entire public service structure.
You see, last year we took a position. The chairman James Coolidge took a decision. All procurement breaches. We won't listen to you again. We referred you to the Attorney General for prosecution. We referred over 180 cases to the Attorney General for prosecution. Obi, not one has gone.
Procurement breaches.
Not one has gone. Not one has been prosecuted. So maybe we need to begin to make examples. The Attorney General must designate a special unit at the AG's office to deal with referrals from the Public Accounts Committee. The Chief Justice must set up a specialized court. Like the way you have a traffic court, you have the land court, you have the human rights court for public service breaches. Whether it is a civil servant or a politician.
They will call
so that the cases don't spend 3 years, 4 years in court. They are fast-tracked. Dedicated prosecutors in the police service, in the Attorney General's office, and then a dedicated court. Obi, we need to let people know that there is a high price
to
pay for corruption. If we don't do it, our country is not going to get better.
The focus, so because of politicians,
but
Charlie,
Obi, that be I see politician where you say, Obi, have you seen former MPs? MP will lose the election. What will be brave? Ministers, former ministers. I see minister where was coming, minister where was go and see. Hey, countryman, Songo. Oh, yeah, I'm on fire. I love you too. More fire.
This one there.
Demonstration.
Demonstration in a professional way. You remember. More fire. More fire.
Obeka.
Football today, more fire. Sure, absolutely.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
if we don't have a high price to be paid for corruption, WIC, MP way, minister way, have you seen former minister send a homobre ebi and I do one free officer but go and check the directors in most of your public sector institutions and government agencies. Go and look at where their children are going to school. I'm not saying that they cannot do it legitimately, but Obi, if we want to call a spade in this country, we know where corruption is in this country. Look, the only problem they say, the political class believes they need to be complicit with the civil service that is corrupt, and not everybody in the civil service is corrupt. Again, I'm being very clear. And you'll be on yes, there are very decent civil servants and public servants in Ghana, but politicians think that it is an easy way to make money, and so they connive with them and participate in it and get corrupted by the system. As I said, because they think that that's the easiest way. Yamami appointment 2 years, 1 year, reshuffle, and Timaminya. But bear in mind, Obama 1 million. Just 10 million.
10 million.
You get it, it's and eventually, but NDC, ISA, MPP, ISA, and it becomes a political thing. And every time we make a political football, we don't achieve anything. And in this country, well, I can say, especially under this administration, when you fight corruption, corruption will fight you.
Ekosiisen hi Asempa FM. That's a nice way to introduce your interview. No, but let me say, I think I've received a few messages. Mekai Eddie Amamonafe, ya twas Honorable Sam Nati George, MP for the Ningo Pram constituency. We say, Obi, my regards to Sam Jata George. Ask my brother. Also, then, if Mr. Mahama would make his appointment before his honeymoon, or it will be done on his return in an unlikely event that he wins this year's election. For the education of all, the salary of the GRA boss does not pass through the Controller and Accountant General, so it is erroneous for my brother to say Reverend Amishadai's name automatically should have gone off the payroll when he attained 60, and so he caught a ghost at park, where God and Asari Bediakon and on the way. But you get his drift?
Oh, but listen, every public servant is on the public payroll. Every public servant is on the public payroll. You have to, especially when you are paid by the public forget allowances and things. Your base salary is on the public payroll. So you can't say you're a public servant. Who is being paid except Gordon is opening a new scandal that people are being paid outside the payroll management system.
There are some parastatals like when you work with ECG, for example, the company pays itself.
Yes, but you see, once
I don't know the GRA arrangement.
Once you are a public servant, all public servants have to be biometrically verified because the state needs to know. Because yes, it is ECG paying you directly.
Yes,
but that money is not ECG's money.
Oh, it's not.
It is the state's money.
Sure.
When we calculate the amount of money we spend on remuneration, and we say 90% of our, but it's all part of it. It's all part of it.
Yeah, I get it. But my free park for a while now. Now, you share something you are very passionate about. The private members bill. I want to colleagues a pushy.
We say I'm very passionate. I say who come me home.
Oh no,
so say we are passionate about because me say we are sorry about.
That's a good one. It's something we are all very passionate about. Yeah, what he faces here, and I know in Amity say I read stories online say Parliament approved 3-year sentencing before or maybe promoting LGBTQ activities near the he fan ye with the bills this year.
My can say we first consideration.
Okay.
And normally with the bill, no, after the bill is introduced, the first reading is referred to the committee. The committee does its work, public sittings and all of that. Then we come and do second reading. Then we start the consideration. Okay. Consideration, the main work. One of the main pillars near committee work.
Okay.
Near committee Then after that, it now comes to the whole plenary.
Okay.
Committee, the report with amendments that have been agreed or proposed in the name of the committee, standing in the name of the chairman of the committee.
Okay.
And in fact, on the floor, additional amendments are allowed to be brought in. Me say I filed new amendments. Honorable HMN Bonsu there, or filing almost another 30-40 amendments on the floor of the House.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, anyway. So now we have a cleaned up document.
Okay.
Based on
cleaned up meaning say all the concerns of various stakeholders have been
incorporated.
Okay.
Some of the amendments, because we move the amendment, the speaker will ask you for justification.
Yes.
Then he opens it for debate and say sometimes the chairman moved amendments, and as sponsors we debated him.
Okay.
And the speaker put it to a vote, and we defeated the chairman.
Okay.
There were times we even moved amendment. There was a time I moved an amendment as a sponsor. My co-sponsor, Roxanne, a movie counter amendment to me there and defeated me.
Okay.
And his was a superior position. So all of those various, and some of the amendments are not even advertised. In the spur of the moment, our floor, it comes up. And say, for example, the Minister for Environment, Honorable Free.
Yes. So she also MP.
Solid guy, or a medical doctor.
Yeah, medical doctor.
Solid guy. He did the final amendment, Mirin Fida, where he did an amendment to the definition of sex. Because we had defined sex to mean the biological assignment or birth of male and female. Or see that be? I said, yeah, Adi, with respect to the chromosomal structure, and he did 5 other elucidation. Obi wo ho a wo be hu nenim say o se bema. Nanso wo check ni DNA na oyoba. Entina wo benya bema ogina ho. Wo hu nenim to say bema, but o nufu ni bibia or hips ni curves. But cause oyoba, and that is actually the most biologically sound way of determining sex. And you see, some of those things just come up on the floor. He didn't file an amendment, but on the floor, interpretation section of sex, and he introduced it. So all of those things have to now be put together by the drafting office and then presented back to Mr. Speaker. Then the House will look at it, say, Obia Philly said that is what we did. There's then the speaker will move us to third reading. Third reading is the procedural. Or because the bill has been read for the third time. All in favor say, you can't, no bill, no Adanilo. So you would say that we have done a lot of the work, but we're waiting to see what the drafting office will bring back. And it could be it could be a matter of days, it could be a matter of weeks, it could be a month. But
what was the story around 3 years?
Okay, so amendments na
okay.
So in the original bill, and again, Nami, I will say this again. I'm George Adani, police or person I don't care what you do in your room. And it's not our business. What we don't want is say I say a war between wo any wo partner. Say I would person the barber jina me name e wa bonten. Who person would be come in my school. I got me ma. When you bring your private matters into the public space, they will be affected by public policy. What am I saying?
Sure.
Good. And so this bill is largely in response to the advocacy opening of LGBTQ office now in January 2021. February 2021 I'm here a statement say and then in August 2021 we laid the bill. Good. So in the bill original draft, the punishment for homosexuality, any of the forms of homosexuality, a fine. I think the minimum was 750 penalty units, maximum 2,500 penalty units, and then minimum or a jail sentence of minimum 3 years, maximum 5 years, or both. Judge, he will look at the facts of the case now at this idea. But in the case of advocacy, sponsorship, in fact, we call it promotion of, sponsorship for, funding of. Prohibited acts are LGBTQ activities now. We don't put the option of a fine.
A strict jail term.
And I minimum 5 years, maximum 10 years. That was the original bill.
Okay.
Your core committee, would work on the committee and all of that. They say, okay, if this is your intent, we think you should make this a misdemeanor, make this one a second-degree felony. We're doing all of those alignments. There's a sentencing regime in Ghana. I didn't need a misdemeanor.
Yes.
You can't go beyond a certain time frame. And say, in the misdemeanor, we kept the fine for the offenses.
Okay.
We kept the fine and then said, minimum jail sentence 6 months, maximum 3 years.
3 years.
And we amendment.
Okay.
Then when we came to the funding and support of, we said it was a second-degree felony. And dropped it from 5 years minimum, 10 years maximum to 3 years minimum, 5 years maximum.
That's for the funding
of promotion. Of sponsorship of and those things. Obia or Wasika. And that what made this news was because the Honorable Afenyo Markin and the chairman of the committee, Honorable
Asante
Central. No. They brought some suggestions there. They think we should rather make it non-custodial. Yen yi jail term no free. Na yen ma fine. And I mean they kept talking about how to reform the person. I said nipanan sachayena. I said yeah share. And I was there. What are you talking about? Obia when you're Nisika, and most of the people who fund are not LGBTQ people themselves. They are not practitioners themselves. When you're Nisika or Nimni or the Sika Bay. And the idea you see ye cheng ye mpewo krom ha no ono de nisika shemu kina sani panon sacha ebe na wo because wa boni trimu po say idea me pese meye ni and so what reformation are you talking about? O say end ye yi custodial sentence na ye mani pan fine. Okay, speaker see if I will propose a limbra propose the amendment or see ye finding the pan 50 penalty units. On your 50 penalty units no who the basic mo 300 Ghana cedi. Na maybe say obia ono wasika or fund the LGBTQ asotwe a wo see yemfa hye man mo ye 300 Ghana cedis. Are you serious or are you joking? And so we debated it and we shut it down and maintained the minimum 3 years, maximum 5 years.
5 years.
No option of a fine.
That's for the sponsorship
promotion and
funding of LGBTQ activities
in Ghana.
But no, is it not far-reaching? Because, for example, and for somebody who operates in the media, who is a content producer and all of that, they say me hey, and because our work as journalists, Emma inquiring say we have to be fair, we have to be objective, we have to make sure say all voices are heard. In the end, say will be a practitioner, but the person feels strongly about what is happening to LGBTQ4 and I say na wabet na menim said the menim we interview na menim na you interview na on any position is o feel says how you say makwan man koso meaning said that person is likely to go for 3 years and me and my man is our platform so
media platform no. Okay, Obi, there are people who also feel very strongly say Obia most likely you won't see Obia when the 18 or your prostitution worker. It's consensual sex between two grown adults who just one chooses to pay for it, one chooses to charge for it.
Sure.
So Obi feel so strongly now about Asempa, Obama no kind somebody advocating for prostitution. Would you do that? I mean, the person feels very strongly about it. Sabita Frache say Obijina Togo Embassy ni mana Lagos Avenue enye wo.
Yes.
And say other a woman Sanipa no kwan say ombetna we feed so and push it.
Touch wood. Even if I decide to give that person the opportunity, there is no law I just say I will be held culpable and will be jailed. More so.
Let me give you another offense that will give you that has such penalties. So Obi betina has says yeah. Now catch you say, "She, come her boys bro, girls also bre." And see, but utumi ko be stock a crabby. Now there ye the nyama baba gum. Ye de won kofa omo ye no money. Won sika ba. Won mo nim bebe om de be find ye de be fa wo shop mo. Na ye de money laundry.
Yes.
Say Peter Frache eno shop no na wo ho. Enya wo dia, enya wo hwe. Obi sika na ye wo shama no. Eno money laundry no, and also how we are. But if you do that on this your platform, the Anti-Money Laundering Law Act will hold you and hold you responsible for aiding and abetting. Even with prostitution, aiding and abetting prostitution. That's why if you own a brothel, where known for that, police bet you. So even with prostitution, the current legislation, our Criminal Offences Act, will hold you for aiding and abetting. Which must say, and if you then willingly give your platform for the propagation of something that Mrase, Obi, who can say you think is everything that the law says is not good that we all like? Obi, me nyamdi me why also west. Who can say me nya and come in tam me boys. Now Michelle Obi of MPP amema wome bunonso. We've passed an Anti-Vigilantism Act. And so you can do that. Whether you want to, whether you feel strongly about it, you can't. Because Ghana for did wanna say yempe. Yes, yempe, ye diaba ye mashe fie. Ama ya shisha mra. Said nya Ghana for did wanna see one penny. And to me panel cannot supersede the desire and will of the majority of Ghanaians. Which must say, but it's different. It's different when you are engaged in, for example, there's an academic discourse, and in academia, for example, there could be the conversation about the role of LGBTQ in the spread of HIV/AIDS. That's an academic conversation. That's different from Obi Awabet now say no, we should not have the law. Obi sending me video. Obi see one woman demonstration against bill no so of reference for Obi say who said na dwen no mo ebom kakra because we see who hear one woman demonstration yet you are asking people to come and join you. One say before now can no see here. Such a person you don't take them serious. But imagine that such a person comes to sit here and you give that person the opportunity to begin to say you should allow kids should be allowed to choose who they want to be. And they allow this is prime time. This is daytime radio. Daytime radio nkwala etika mu every school etie na nipa no beka say ese woma oba ebetumi ni oba aye ne awope any member. I mean, Obi, there are ethics and there are standards in journalism. You get it? Sure. It's completely different from an academic conversation in the confines of an academic space where you are making academic arguments.
But even in the academic space, there are standardized and credible academic journals.
Absolutely.
Which are also read by many people. If maybe in my research, I think say me who be in the research, I just it might be seen as promoting that activity. But if I publish in an academic journal, for example, do I fall foul of the law? No,
you've published academic work. Obi, in fact, even and J. Mensah Bonsu took pain to make a certain example in one of the clauses. Do I remember well? I think it's clause 12.3. And no, my name said, I've even seen, there was this article by eminent academics, lawyers, Sheshi of blessed memory. They did, and I was surprised because senior lawyers, and Chairman Sambonsu, the majority that made that clarity. Because now we say we are Bema Kana Uko active play, now we share Atadiet se Oba Sam George Manubecho. No, that's not what it is. It said intentional cross-dressing. With the intention to carry out an act prohibited by this act. And this law is focused on Obia washada she atadia ti se oba o bema washa atadia ti se oba esan se opese obetwi oba fufuro ana bema fufuro na oye bema o but washa atadia ti se oba na because opese obe seduce bema fufuro na oni na da as bema. That's a criminal offense. But Uncle Ebo White any play. Na obema bi Atias or bar. It is the intention there is not for a sexual activity. Which must say so it is clearly defined. Now, Obi, even when you are accused of falling foul of the law,
you have a day in court.
You have your day in court. You will present the facts of the case. Oh, Madam Mami Judge, Papa Judge, Memetia, Nipane baye, yedi enkomo, and I same way baye. Nipane can say ni in this context. In the basis of that, a expression of academic opinion. Me I want to say a promotion of judge no betie. Obe requested tape no. Obetie. Obe won say at the way there a academic discourse and say you are discharged and acquitted. Obe can say that be way there me who say what sheda. Now the nipa na ba ebisa a leading question just to raise these things because if you remember, I think it was in this very studio. It was with you. No, it was not you. It was your sister station.
Okay.
Evans.
Okay.
Or your interview be.
Okay.
And I mentioned as soon as they put me on, make a chance and no could make multimedia and he himself liable if the law is passed. Or say why? I'm catching and say, what Fred will be free a so-called a gay rights group in Ghana. First and foremost, our laws don't recognize gay rights groups. One on the platform. And then the catcher will say, one must celebrate gay pride events
in Ghana.
And now Ubisa say a day, which days, what activities. Masa, that in itself is giving them a platform to promote something that cannot be said to be an academic discourse or the exercise of journalistic freedom. Which must say, because when you are now asking the person, and this month you say it's Pride Month, what are your activities? Now Nipano man a platform. Now on church you say this day you better say until you better say go to this website and you will get further information. That is no longer academic and that is no longer journalistic standards. That becomes an enabler and giving a platform for advocacy
for a criminal activity. The other thing is when I listen to you well, not just committing the act itself, the punishment for committing the prohibited act itself, will form essentially the promotion and the funding, right?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because Obi, what we are at risk at or of, people from outside are OMG contract. Ghana for Sika wa de mo OMG contract. So body rama womo. I can mention some of the biggest so-called supporters and advocates of LGBTQ. Ebi Wokrom Hawama was 7 with 7 different women. Now so they no promote homosexuality. Say wujidi say idea say we bema say wuni wo yonku bema beda aden na wa 7 with a mass 7. So clearly you will see that it is not because they believe what they are preaching, but it is what they are getting from what they are preaching. And it is that advocacy. Obi, when we setting up clubs at secondary schools. What's the case now? Yeah. They are setting up clubs in secondary schools and giving incentives to young children. Grooming of young children. It's a criminal offense. So the real threat to us, sa foreign culture na, ye pese womu di bet 2 years so. Unko for jihun contract. Umbe say the fiber of our country, our moral fiber and our social fiber. Now at the base of all of this, is to distort the concept of family. Obi, wunyi wo kalabrem na wunyi no. Wunim say wu papa. Efie ye wo ye mame na wo ye yeja ye papa ye mame ye ba ye papa ye bema woni wonua na mo wo ho wo ye bema wo wonua ba but sisi I want to catch am kwala ne say wo papa betumi ye oba na wo mame nso ye oba ana wo papa betumi ye bema na wo mame nso ye bema. What are they trying to teach the children? It is this attack on the family unit. That's why the bill is not just talking about human sexual rights, but Ghanaian family values. What do we regard as a family? We regard a family as father who is a male, mother who is a female, and children. And they're male and female. And that's why we're always specific in the bill to say at birth. Because so we're being very careful. And in Parliament, I gave the example. Obi a say oye oba ye wo no bema say oye oba wakodi boni ya che no o say oye oba nti on to me call mema prison ye na go share a prison 6 months ma miensa anyam and they ban saying say America is fighting in its sports because obema oye swimming or we on oba last or the last ye call swimming na school inter school championship no they be all no way. See, I do see your friend Robbie Bium, your friend Rhoda. And as I say, or compete against a man, and as I say, no, Odi gold, Odi first. So what bon want to me, new young member be compete here. Now, as I say, there was we oba, now Odi first for. And even American athletes are being kicked off, female athletes are being kicked off the Olympics, American Olympics team for transgender males. Sebi previous with the greatest of respect to your listeners. Some kwasi same way. And ya dia say yenko patch or say yen from Brian. No.
And that's why you see and I say sponsors nihu promotion, that act of promoting and funding to be even more serious.
And that's why we are going after it.
But since we year 2024, which is an election year, parliamentary resume, are you confident, sir, this bill will become law this year?
Oh, why not? I want to believe, sir, Omanpenyi Nanado. Was it an Anglican church? Or called Asorebi or Mountains?
Yeah.
I think it was either the Anglican or
Maybe you can make it public.
Yes.
Yeah, Anglican
Church. Yeah. And I can say it will never, homosexuality will never happen under his watch. I mean, there is no greater opportunity to walk that talk by accenting to this bill.
To the bill.
In fact, this bill has the full approval and support of Omanpenyin, the Attorney General. And let me put it on record, because you share Attorney General on this bill. And when we finished, Ofremi, Godfredami, and you can call him. You can call him. Godfredami Fremi, I say, Sam, come. Yesterday I heard you in the media. You were saying that I don't support the bill. You have seen the work I've done with you to clean up the bill. Please go to the media and grant an interview and tell them that I, Godfredami Attorney General, I support this bill. I am against homosexuality, and this bill has my support and clean bill of health. Godfredami's own words.
In to his credit, you are making this
and I am and I did it. My friend Evans, and I'm a catcher. Say, Evans, I beg you, and me can be what will show so. Say I wasn't sure the Attorney General was supporting, but he showed me in about 2.5 hours of meeting his support, and he requested that I put this out, and I put it out. And so I'm repeating it again. And so I don't see why, because when the bill goes to the president, the Attorney General for the opinion. Opinion no must state Attorney General Canada. I don't, and we have not changed anything from what he said. In fact, the reduction in some of the lengths, are because of the engagement with the Attorney General. And everything the Attorney General wanted, we've done. So I don't see why. I don't see how the president will not sign, because the Attorney General is on all fours with us on this bill. Which must say, and I'll catch him say, Sam, I'm a child of God. I'm a Christian. So I mean, I don't want to. Let's not preempt the president. I want to believe, said the president, and it's not just about the Attorney General. The president is going to listen to the mood of the country. Asofo etechi, kremofo etechi, ye nananom etechi, ahimfo etechi.
Asempa
So
FM.
everybody in Ghana seems like even the CDD's own research shows that 93% of Ghanaians
they abhor this,
avoid and don't want to see it at all. And this is, I mean, so for me, Omanpenyin, you hold power and trust for the people. And I still, I mean, I've heard all the rumors and I've heard all the insinuations people have cast, but on this one, Miss Sam George, I want to trust Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and believe, say, obeye nia eye ma ye na ye dachi ma, and he will sign this bill in line with the words he himself has spoken. Because look, Obi, on this bill, there are senior people in the MPP who've picked the phone and called me and said, Sam, you know, nya dream will be BMO, but I did wait there. The bomb mouse saying, there are people who meet me and say, Sam, I don't like your politics, but on this bill, I have your support. This bill has cut across the whole country, irrespective of your faith, your religious belief, your political affiliation, your age. They are Gen Zs. Gen Zs. Here for the Asempa I will Twitter no. One who pressure and for did to me so say, I then a bill ni no any Gen Z for. And I want opinion for baby bloomers. Obia FATG. So I'll be shocked that the president will take a different stance. So I know let me err on the side of caution and say he will pass it.
Once the bill goes through all the stages, the president will assent, and this year it will become law. Okay. Ekosiisen On Asempa FM, Honorable Sam George, and AD and Komo. We still have some few other issues to touch on and Sunny the interview, about area or Adrentra. Let me remind you once again about our WhatsApp number. WhatsApp number. Let me see. WhatsApp number is 0548 443 523. 0548 443 523. Na yenti unso wadrenchre ene de wo emayen. I would love to hear from you. Enti few messages na fe yentwa so obi ask Honorable Sam George if the law defines what an intent is or what would constitute an intent to seduce a same gender. I think that would be a very difficult task for prosecutors to prove in court if not clarified. Al-Haj Suleiman. And Al-Haj, and you know, Al-Haj, the courts were a way of establishing intent. Yes, it might sound difficult for you as a layperson, but in court, the court would establish intent. There is a way the court establishes intent.
The facts of the case will establish the intent and all that. So people who feel say, oh, you see, you pass law, you chobi na you court and so on. No, everybody will have their fair day in court.
Sure.
And there is a burden of proof on the prosecution.
On the prosecution.
The burden of proof is not on the accused.
No.
It's on the prosecution.
It's on the prosecution. Indeed, if there are doubts about how you've established a way now, then the person walks free. Kindly alert Honorable, if it is 50 penalty unit, then it should be 600 Ghana cedis and not 300. Please verify for us. Godi or Tema. Godi, thank you. We say, Obi, we need this bill passed, and so Parliament should take a cue from the legal position of the President on the anti-witchcraft law. Can they do something about the custodial sentence so it doesn't become a burden on the consolidated fund? And that's another interesting point. I'll pick Sam's opinion on that. With the benefit of what happened with the witchcraft at the end, he makes the point, say, can Parliament do anything about the custodial sentence so it doesn't become a burden on the consolidated fund? Well, one of the arguments the President made
that argument, respectfully, that argument by the President is flawed, with the greatest of respect to the President. So who can say it's going to introduce a new cost now? It doesn't hold that way. You see, the prisons are like a revolving door.
Sure.
Ebi komono, na ebi ba. So unless the President can establish, say, the effect of the witchcraft bill, another effect of the anti-LGBTQ bill, by increasing numbers beyond the existing numbers, because as and when people are prosecuted and incarcerated, if they have to be, there are people who are completing their sentences. And also coming out. What am I saying? And you see, the President's actions in that whole process, especially with the witchcraft bill, is unconstitutional. The President doesn't have the authority to make that determination. See,
the Speaker hinted on going to the Supreme Court.
And I'm still encouraging the Speaker in Parliament to go to the court. Because you see, there's separation of powers. It is the duty of, you see, because of our history, we've allowed Parliament become so weak. Because when Parliament is so weak, it strengthens the executive beyond measure. But the executive should not be the one telling us, say, Parliament, you need to be a now woman No. The whole separation of powers, the legislature is the arm that makes laws. We ought to originate laws. Laws ought to originate from Parliament. The executive is supposed to implement the law. Not to formulate the law. Implement it. Now obey who the bay juma running now who executive who feel say mra ya no enya wo there, then you go to the judiciary to interpret mra Parliament pass say who are buying mra we ya Parliament aye no me feel say emboa, then the judiciary will independently determine say Parliament mo fumwa ha and am executive Parliament is correct. Say citizen be say Parliament ye mra no na aban the year juma. But citizens be feeling say some run Parliament ayema bino. It tramples on their rights. They also go to the judiciary.
Article 2.
But it is not for the President to sit down and say, oh no, washem ranemo, and he thinks I'm running until he's returning it. Are you the judiciary?
But in the lawmaking process in our country, the bill doesn't become law until it is assented by the President.
He's supposed to accent. If he won't accent, he's supposed to state his reasons why. That's it. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have the authority to pass judgment on the processes of Parliament. And even when he refuses, and I urge Sosu to explore this because Sosu is the sponsor of the private members bill on witchcraft.
Okay.
When the President, after 6 months, he's supposed to issue a white paper. He's not supposed to write back to Parliament and tell Parliament, say, no. But even when he refuses to sign, Parliament can then, on the application by the sponsor, put a vote. Yenya 2/3 say President and sign you
or sign you. It becomes law, sure.
So I mean, if we all
then you have that way to explore. So why is it not?
No, that's what I'm saying. And well, I'm reaching out. I'm advising my brother Sosu. He's the sponsor of the bill, the witchcraft bill. Okay, and I'm saying to him that we all, in fact, I don't think there's anybody in Parliament who supports the work of so-called witchcraft hunters. Sure. We all believe say the witchcraft camps must be closed. And you from Parliament and subject it to a 2/3 vote. I'm sure we'll get 2/3.
You get 2/3.
You understand me? But I still believe say Parliament must go to court for the court to rule, not just about President Akufo-Addo, because private members' bills will not end today. Yeah. And look, Parliament has been so pushed into the Yasha Kukumbi until Professor Mike Eronokwe. Everybody knows me and Mike Okwe. We had our fights in Parliament. Yeah. But I will always give him his credit for what he did with private members' bill. Because what's here president now? The president's position. And it makes me understand why when the president was in Parliament, we didn't have private members' bill. Because that's their thinking. And that thinking is wrong. If that is the position of the law, then we should shut down Parliament. You don't need Parliament. Like the military dictators do, the military hunters used to do, decrease. AFRC decree, PNDC decree. They didn't need Parliament to do anything. One more decree now, no. The courts work with it. Because if you are saying, say, Parliament on our own, because if you take out the custodial sentence, and you are saying because of cost to the state, I told this Attorney General, no, but 2.5 hours for your home. 2.5 hours, nobody, sad time when you're adding. So then it means that Attorney General cannot be involved in any processes of Parliament. So you see, you are moving that whole thing about financial cost to the state to a certain absurd level. If you see police for now asks, are they recruiting new police because of anti-LGBTQ bill? Nana. And your existing prosecutors we are not going to give them additional salary because of that. And so you see, these are weak arguments that are being pushed just to muddy the waters, on it. Yes, but Charlie,
fantastic. Inti mate, the Ivory Coast coach now say so almost near so a mate and obey a driver no the omo winning tournament. No, you've heard that analogy.
There be now on your mate, on who deputy on who mate now who say assistant driver. What's na STC your mate, your driver and your assistant driver. What's na STC for your car Ekotamalia.
Yes.
When you say driver mean you know what kind
and drivers too.
And a mate also
You're conductors.
Yes, conductor no Sana Nigeria for free mate. But yeah, friend mate. Good. Mate wom and I want drivers me no back drive free akọ do techima na back one fa free techima akọ.
Yes.
And you assistant driver and I want mate. Because me tie omampinya be de chire baumia. Oba asada no Osei oba interview. Ya management dada. Enti obey accountability on ejuma ye dey ahye ne nsa on the basis of that no ye man no ejuma fufuro enye sa
yes
me as an interview panel no ma marking 0
for everything you heard.
Obi ye mfa no say ora kwesi chum e fa wo ejuma fa wo ejuma say we a host be ye host of the show.
Yes.
Now what be tna has 7 years 7 years. Now, Uber year no a position be for a management position. Now I go catch and say, ora kwesi chum. 7 years no farm ejuma as producer or production assistant. Who say kwesi chum be hwe we. Esan say offer we say be ye host of the show. One fa say be ye production assistant. Yan fa ba o mi say on be ye mate o. Ye find say umbe assistant driver. Ushe constitution ni mo the requirements for the president are not different for the vice president are not different from the requirement for the president. Until now Ikuadonko was disqualified 2 elections ago. Esan say ni running mate ni AD 39 or in D40.
Yes.
But ushe mate ni driver requirements ni different. Assistant drivers me no na omo STC no. Omo ina omo driving license. Omo ina ye hwehwe omo nim. Omo ina ya making sure say omo ntwa bi. Ansana omo kotina stage. Mate. Why na checking mate driving license? Mate why na checking any? Mate no do na omo twa bi da ansana omo start ejuma no. Enti say ya fawo assistant driver. Na 7 years actually. Assistant driver na ye fawo no. We say e do the one nya ho ejuma but mate ejuma na afi na meti nyama bebre a Dr. Baumia ye na watwetwe bi
that's
Debbie, you know when I say that I'm not saying say literally I'm saying to you say we a driver. Who could trick car? Won't mean trebi.
Yes.
Mate dear, Obim Bissau. Say where trebi and now when trebi.
No, but the point is that despite that analogy now we're painting. And I sometimes wonder why we have certain debates in this country. Is it not clear, say, the powers of the president are different from the powers of the vice president? Is it not clear? Why are we debating this? Why you don't know that?
Dr. Baumia, Abra Ochuro 170 questions, ma emisata no na onem.
And what's the point?
The point is, on one marking scheme na yedimano. Afei de Osei. Bibia atunchima e wa ban ne mo no. Eno de enye ono because on the oye mate.
But he didn't say that in the speech. You are deducing that from the speech, and it's not fair on him because he started by defending the record of the government or a part of
Obi. Everything that in his own opinion went well.
Yes.
Or say no yeah. Everything that didn't go well. Or say no there. Ye man akwenya obaba ye ni there. Obi. We need Dominic. And a producer show and a show way.
Sure.
Good. Imagine say Sam George Abat na nyame mpengu and mambe di nkwasi assembly wo show way na NMC for afre na se NMC for afre mo na kwesi chum internal meeting ofre mo na waka kire kwesi chum say me de Dominic na frɛ Sam George o enti Sam George ba no me de Dominic afre na enti me ne hu ye but we Dominic free ho a next time me Sam George ba me pamo no Abra Sam George bet na ha no na bisa me asem na otutu ma no so when Baumia is sitting there today and saying to us say despite the remaining 10 months of this year odaso ye mate
or vice president
odaso ye vice president I just say yes ko to abama no ansa na ebe to me e-levy bet tax any emissions tax obi ansa na nanado ni Baumia ebe di oman we nim no wonim e-levy bi
no
wonim bet tax bi
no
wonim emission levy bi
no
why na di buy
this government
nanado ni Baumia na Baumia na ye the head of economic management team
yes
ono na ohwe tax policy so and na auditor cabinet e defend the cabinet e-levy no me mean na cabinet menim say won so I just say ye frau cabinet but me menim say
it's not cabinet
but when him say party general secretary dey otina
cabinet
any chairman and a minister for information so tina
cabinet observers
yes but one tina enti bibia ekoso no one mote okay e-levy buy no kojo pon kruma oye aban kasamafo minister for information o te cabinet ho e be ka try say na na NDC for mu ye dey say Baumia on kasa ade no e-levy no Baumia na hihye e-levy no e dey buy
kojo say wan kasa
enye no kre kojo ya menua enye no kre upa okasa wo city TV interview with Bernard Avle tape no ho ye betumi abo but metumi akan exactly what he said amount if you want Osei Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah has disclosed that the Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Baumia played a key role in arriving at the fine details of the e-levy. According to him, the Vice President actively participated in meetings to ensure that the poor in society were not adversely affected by the implementation of the e-levy. He said it was the instrumentality of the Vice President that the 100 Ghana cedi threshold for mobile money transactions was included in the bill to ensure that the poor were protected. And see,
but that is in line with the position on this whole e-levy thing. Because he had said in an earlier interview with Sefa, say, Onuno Ofili said the poor would be affected if there is a way the poor can be exempted. And when he got the opposition, he pushed for that earlier position. So he's been consistent.
No, Obi.
I didn't know.
Obi, the whole e-levy,
yes,
the drafting of the e-levy,
yes,
see, it's not only about the exemptions. They gave the exemptions as one of the things he did. Yes. As one of the things. But the whole e-levy, say e-levy, would we have needed an exemption for the poor?
No.
Oh,
no, but granted, say he even did that.
Yes.
Now, or say on your opportunity to obey free. What's wrong?
Obi,
He hasn't got the executive authority to do that today.
No. Obi.
He can only try to convince his boss. The boss can say, "Oh yeah, what can he do?"
Obi. When you say about me, our website.
Our website, sure.
Baumia 2020.
Sure.
Who course our pay website in this one? Who click on the link Meet Baumia. The biography, Beba. Biography in here. Dr. Mahamudu Baumia is the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. He chairs the economic management team, which is broadly responsible for shaping the government's policy and guiding their implementation. He's at the forefront of a broad inclusive development strategy in Ghana involving, among others, the leveraging of digitized government services to transform the delivery of public sector services and digitizing the economy. Obia onankasa autono or say on chair economic management team. Now Omejumani said they shape government policy and guide the implementation. And it's all catch us all your mates. I know there only to me or the baby he said or no bekan. That's not what he's saying. When you say you shape something and guide its implementation, you are integral to both the formulation and implementation and execution of it. And see, again, I'm just showing you how Baumia is conflicting himself.
But per our constitution, decision making in government is done by cabinet.
I am daring the cabinet Baumia team to show us any evidence, say, or the document from economic management team, ECO cabinet, said they are opposed to e-levy. And if the economic management team he chairs was opposed to e-levy, then who introduced it? Because the e-levy was introduced as a tax measure by the economic management team. He chairs the team. So if he was opposed to it, who introduced it? And if Baumia is, for want of a better phrase, and with the greatest respect, so useless in the cabinet scheme of things at cabinet, not him as a per se, that's what I'm saying very respectfully. If you are saying, say, cabinet, there is no use for him in cabinet, that as head of economic management team, on a policy issue like a tax handle like e-levy, you catch say e-levy best solve your problems. They couldn't listen to him. Then it means the MPP doesn't see Baumia as even a serious person.
But in principle, you and your colleagues on the minority were vehemently against e-levy. If we've gotten to a point already, former President Mahama Akasu Nyakwaya obey free ho. Dr. Baumianswa Akasu Nyakwaya obey free ho. At least we have the two leading candidates in one accord on a policy. Why should we be having this debate?
We are having this debate because Ghana force politicians ye are trufo. Ye can't debate. Ye nya to me no na ye are the fufro. Open your phone lines right now and ask Ghanaians. Yes. That is the impression Ghanaians have of politicians. And it's important that we begin to hold politicians to a high standard of ethics. So obisi obey idea. You see, kwasi obeba wontuma. If Baumia, as head of the economic management team, introduced e-levy, and I did a Facebook post asking my colleague MPs, one more TISA program na say wo UPSC. Baumia can say obes crappy e-levy na omu baum same sresre. Baumia insulted them.
How?
Baumia simply said to them that their sense of judgment is faulty. Baumia simply said to them that they are not serious people who should be taken seriously. Mustafa Yusuf, Minister for Sports, you born in punch amanini pie over e-levy. Ya kuntokwa ewo parliament over e-levy. Intokwa nemu obi bo Mustafa enim ema nini pie. Because they were fighting, because they believed, because Baumia had told them, they the MPs, say government needed e-levy to fix all our problems. Papa Penyin to say Amwakwata. Now say e-levy bar, all our roads will be done, our problems will be finished. Papa Penyin say what Sumano sebi kafra nkwasi asuma sent them to parliament to come and fight. It is all of those late nights. Parliament over e-levy that led to the death of Baswa. We stayed in parliament till 1 a.m. Baswa BP Kosro Okodru Fieno one sorry bium kumewu MP. A life was lost because of e-levy. Then in 2 years, less than 2 years, You the same person who sent them to go and fight. Who sorry say, Uba, Ubetrim. Where is your credibility? Where is your integrity? And you see, when you put what Bawumia's political journey has been in context of Sir Adeweya, you know you can't take Bawumia seriously. John Mahama from day one said, I will scrap this. And I remember February 2022, demonstration was Brassport. I said, then General Secretary, I can say within 100 days, you best scrap levy. At that time, what was Bawumia? Why did he not speak? If the same Bawumia who said to Ghanaians, say, within 18 months, woman the Tumia, within 18 months, there will be no village in Ghana that will have a water or toilet problem.
So for you, the whole point is if you don't trust the words of Dr. Bawumia.
Oh, but Bawumia's words cannot not be taken seriously.
Okay.
Wait. Bawumia, Ebert now sister station.
Yes.
Building way more.
Yes.
Building way more.
Yes.
And I can say 100 days in office. 100 days in office. Bawumia be can what say watch $1 no. And now the keys no. I'm an IGP. At that time, that dollar is 4.2 and that dollar is 12.7. So if Sani Pano, Emsambe catcher also best crappy taxes, so money to me for Bioma, would you believe him? Bawumia and the Kojina Cape Coast. Abra any MPP manifesto mupo. Your man the microphone said Bekasana introduce president no Obejina Hoeka say Messi Airport ama Cape Coast. Cape Coast for air train airport. Bawumia na ne bet na Joy FM ha. And I can say ono obey president, he will move the vice president, he will move the country from taxation to production. Emma okasasa say NDC yentie bibia yebekana na assume there and all of that. Joy FM and Okai moving us from taxation to production as head of economic management team or the 40 new taxes. I bet 2 years so. But we ne can say. Obe make sure say Ghana ha ye best start say ye concrete ne be ye kwan. Esan say tamamoto we a nkruma the concrete ye no. Ache sin asphalt de ni na. Onua bisa wo say concrete road ben e na ba omia ye. Ba omia ne kan say Zongo community bia benya senior high school. Bisa wo 7 years. Why hu den? But
if you should go on this tangent,
can say
yes.
SHS Nibia 2023. SHS Nibia benya laptop. One fat laptops na man SHS for. What's somebody now says see the university for and I'll be bomb bush and I'll laptop.
If you should go on this tangent about politicians promises or my omontimian for failure, then all of you are guilty.
Some are more guilty than the others. I won't sit here and say John Mahama. The beer John Mahama Akano. Why?
So that is not something you can.
But we are saddled with both of them.
Yes.
And I will look at the two of them and see which of them is more believable. I will look at the two of them and say this one, for example, John Mahama, the minister, and then a down for a didn't come up.
Yes.
I can try a down for no say, me 1 million. Me die politics.
Yes.
John Mahama say wo krasa adwempona me hia wo ma abemo me pamo.
John Mahama couldn't have done that time and not vice president. John Mahama did that when he was president with executive authority. Bawumia cannot do that because or a vice president. If he becomes president, maybe he can do that.
Bawumia.
Yes.
Your friend Orabi James Kek Osei. James.
Yes.
Kek Osei.
Yes.
Onye Jumama Omampinyo.
Yes.
Oye Jumama Bawumia. Because argument now we say Jumama ye president.
Yes.
Bawumia ye vice.
Yes.
James Kek Osei. Onye Juma wa office of the president. Oye Juma wa office of the vice president. Oye Jumama Bawumia. James Kek Osei. Oye Christoni. Onye Kremoni. A Christopher Obi who call Church of Pentecost who did Ramadan.
Dabi.
Means we call Perez yendi Ramadan. A Christopher yendi Ramadan.
Okay.
Yenu anu kremofo na di Ramadan. James Keko say a oye adwuma yi a oye Christoni a oye adwuma ma Dr. Bawumia edu Ramadan no. Otro letter e wo Dr. Bawumia ono ankasa ni office letterhead e di ko GRA say papa bi a Ghana ni bi a wato ono ne wakane emo aba Ghana a obeton vice president say ohia sa emo no for Ramadan ama womo ko G over 10,000 bags 14 containers womo yi the first 10 containers 10,000 bags and womo ko yi emo no wo ba omia fie ama womo chiche for Ramadan abapie mu say eye emo
10,000 bags no ba omia fie
oh no office one of the properties ho na womo yet womo chiche rice no to the various groups womo chiche emo no for Ramadan no ho na womo yet disbursement no OSP edi papa na court say because you say ye we are ade no papa na da so ye adwuma wo Baumia office
yeah na say papa no is under investigations by the OSP
Baumia office atro say wo ma gia tum say ne wa ye no wanye ne ye but omampeyin that abedeche no enim ho hwe I'm showing you the choices Ghanaians have to make.
No, but
we are looking at two people and seeing their commitment to fighting corruption. Bakun nejumeni say owo adwempo say dachi onya 1 million na obeja politics. Yes is adwempo no be ma wako we ade obe we abansika enti jomama say enu de say wo krasa adwempo we de me ntwen ma wo wi akra akọ bako de nejumeni directly working with him akọ we 10,000 bags of rice e woni din mu achiche no e woni din mu odaso ni ye adwuma
because there is a presumption in favor of the man.
How is there presumption? The person has admitted say wakoji emono did not belong to him.
No, but you say he is under investigation.
No, he's been prosecuted. The case is in court.
But it's possible he can
be the OSP wait. Obi. Did Victoria Hammer commit any offense?
Yes, that is why he was not handed over to the police. No, but this person is being prosecuted.
No, because John Mahama doesn't want to be related and connected to corruption. He doesn't want to even have anybody who can think of corruption near him. Bas Brandon, Jifa Ativo, Osei, and then Frimabemu. Abu Gapele sat in parliament with John Mahama. Oyena down for one more did bomb. Assembly bar about Jida. Yeah, then Abu Gapele called jail. He jailed his own brother over corruption. Bako de onene daso didi wo Flagstaff house. How can you equate these two people? One abhors even the thought of corruption. Bako de ye wia e woni din ye lele rice so ye wia. Jacob wia emo obia.
But before you are
this is not Obi. Look, if there was no prima facie case established, there will be no prosecution. You know that.
But the point is,
so
prima facie alone is not a guilty.
Obi, it shows you that Baumia is a tolerator, a promoter, and an enabler of theft.
When the case is in court,
if he abhorred the activity of the young man, Obeka say me mfuaso. The mere fact. So what could you
know what I find interesting about this line of
it is even wrong that you would take the vice president's letterhead and write a letter. If the vice president claims they didn't know it, then it means even the vice president's office is dysfunctional.
But you know what I find interesting?
What I find there is no justification for this.
Sameba.
And I'll give you more evidence of corruption.
The Bank of Ghana has come under intense criticism on withdrawing the license of somebody like Seydou Agungo and in the bank.
Yes.
Because the argument has been said, assembling power court, why do you base on that to withdraw Obi license? So why can you hold a position like that and hold a different position?
Because they are two completely different.
How are they different?
Why say Agungo?
No. The principle say assembly court untimi base assembly court soon take a decision.
No.
The same thing here.
No. The Bank of Ghana was taking on because those licenses were withdrawn because of liquidity ratio issues. The banks who all had their licenses withdrawn was because they did not meet the liquidity access ratio.
But the narrative around Seydou Agungo,
Obi, don't twist the facts. Obi, wait.
You remember?
The reason why we have taken on the Bank of Ghana on Seydou Agungo is because Seydou Agungo's bank met the liquidity ratio requirements of the Bank of Ghana. But the Bank of Ghana added him who say who ye nkrofa sebita frache omusikasemu enye we nisikasem ye but we say our court enunti who ye no. So even the mere fact that you are adding him shows that prima facie there is a bias against him. Now I am saying to you, I am not using an institution. I am using two people, two human beings.
Okay.
Two human beings who want to be the president of Ghana.
Okay.
And we've seen one president currently sitting there we've been told by his own appointee that he's the mother serpent of corruption. President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. Now, we have to make a choice between John Mahama and Bawumia. And we're looking at someone who can help us deal with Katashishe Jim. And I'm showing you one who has a record of prosecuting people who are even close to him when there is an accusation against them, or distancing himself from others. And I'm showing you one who is, and all the people John Mahama sacked or got prosecuted, none of them carried out an activity purportedly for John Mahama's benefit. John Kekosei, Emona Wakobiano, or Chiche or Bawumia Dimu, and Bawumia is still keeping him at post. PDS are Adani Albatross are, according to IEA, you're losing $2 billion because of PDS. They don't know. Why did PDS become a fiasco? Because of Bawumia.
How was it Bawumia?
Bawumia single-handedly took the PDS contract and changed the bank guarantee to insurance guarantee. Adia is a bank guarantee. Obianim say bank guarantee the insurance guarantee the Now they said PDS must bring a bank guarantee and ese from bra and sana. Yeah, the ejuma no be show monsan. But me I say when figure na for bank guarantee ben insurance guarantee in bra na enu krapo men from ba wo de sha ejuma na ase wunya. So the PDS people took over the assets of ECG, started collecting ECG's money, and used that money to now go and raise an insurance guarantee. Besine, Yesika 1.5 billion. 1.5 billion Ghana cedis. And that's what PDS for her. Bawumia was responsible for that.
Okay.
No,
based on this,
last one.
Yes.
Bawumia is the only person in this government to have been mentioned in 2 undercover exposés. Anas Diana with Kwesi Nyantechi Kandeng. Osei Vice President de Obama onia opebia but I say your appearance fee commando. You have $3 million in commando. Charles do wine. Need the answer by no. On also one more president din. One more finance, one more building, or some Bawumia din, or so Bawumia de. Yeah, the Sika Commander, Obeya Mao. And everybody in the government knows that Bawumia collects appearance fees. This is a man who is engaged in a higher form of family and friends. Ni father-in-law, ambassador, ni brother, deputy CEO, waye onankasa ni sister, head of Northern Development Authority. Ni sister, and ayakoto tricycles, 400 tricycles. Ama yiraye. Besine, ye hu be 400 tricycles. 400 tricycles. Etu ti say confirm. Ye hu be ewo.
So
his brother is at Ministry of Interior. I mean, what is this?
My final question, and it's you obviously are not a fan of Dr. Bawumia. You wish he doesn't become president. Why is it, sir, any other Ghanaian or best taking the neck out, say, media me, I support Bawumia? The NDC seem to come after that person. And I use the Kofi Bentil example. Adintia, is it a strategy now to cower people into submission and to gag them from expressing independent views?
Show me one person who has supported John Mahama that has been celebrated by the MPP. Then we can have this conversation.
Okay, the why now one person was supported
John
Mahama.
Me Sam George, I see me supported John Mahama. Show me any MPP person now or bomb about to say who supported John Mahama.
Yeah, but at least they don't attack you. They don't come and insult you.
Share messages, you know. Maybe the matem.
That's not what I'm talking about. You know that's what for more as politicians, you know. It's something you do. I'm saying, say.
Now, because of John Mahama, supporting your politician.
I'm saying, say.
Simply because I support NDC and I support John Mahama.
And I made a Kofi
Bentil
example.
Is not independent.
Oh, how is he not?
He's not
independent. But he supports Bawumia.
Listen. Kofi Bentil has supported every MPP presidential candidate from Kufuor to Nana-Addo and now to Bawumia. That is not independence. Show me one NDC candidate Kofi Bentil has supported. Kofi Bentil endorsed and supported the Kufuor administration. Kofi Bentil endorsed and supported Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. In fact, he did do so and made it a campaign. He was so much on the neck of President Mahama. He campaigned openly for President Akufo-Addo. And the same people are going to bring what was Jack Toronto Abebre, who can find New York Beswaye. I mean, look, don't use the word independent and Kofi Bentil in the same sentence, except you are using it as an oxymoron.
How is that an oxymoron?
Because it can't be. They can't be in the same sentence. Because that sentence will not conjugate. Il conjugate. You can't conjugate Kofi Bentil and independent. Look,
and do you honestly believe, sir, the attacks directed on him, is fair?
Attacks on who? But Obi, Kofi Bentil's attacks on John Mahama, were they fair? Many of his attacks were misguided and not based on any fact. Kofi Bentil is on record to have said that he didn't like John Mahama because John Mahama created Doomso. Did John Mahama create Doomso? Did John Mahama create Doomso? In 1987, when we had Doomso, was it John Mahama? In 1997, when we had Doomso, was it John Mahama? In 2006, 2007, when President Kufuor marched the Christian Council pastors to go and pray for rain at Akosombo Dam, was it John Mahama? Yet Kofi Bentil, in 2015, said John Mahama is the cause of Doomso and still repeats that lie today. Kofi Bentil said that John Mahama took a Ford as a bribe. He has repeated that on several platforms. He said that under John Mahama's watch, a confirmed flu, when all of those things are not true. Manasseh Azuri, when he sat in this your studio and stated emphatically that he never has evidence of any confirmed flying anywhere and that he used it as a joke. Kofi Bentil has trumpeted it. How do you tell me such a person is independent? It's like telling me that Benefsin is a credible poster.
No, me, so I was three bullets in here, but the fact that Ufi is on your independent, say, ne right to a choice.
He has a right to a choice, but I also have a right to scrutinize your choice and establish your independence and your credibility. Which must say, I have a right. The way he has a right to a choice, I also have a right to scrutinize his choices and interrogate them and say that, look, this choice he's making is not based on facts. It's based on other considerations, and you should come and tell us what those considerations are.
Will Greater Accra fall for NDC?
Certainly.
Greater Accra
will fall once again for the NDC by the grace of the Almighty God. We will not sleep. We are going to do work. We are going to work hard. It will fall again for the NDC.
And I say, seats ni bi amoji free MPP. Ono muso mo sen abeje o made o.
I say obi abeka na adwin.
Lejokuku, Yafreba, Kaikwe North, and all of those seats.
But you know English, I'm on for our OMG free.
No, no, to me, Aje. Sly seat, no.
When you tell me them was Sly and Wedro. Was Sly and Wedro. Sly whom we deal with ballot paper or needing him ballot of Johnny this year. Obi my permanent free, go from Brahma, but you know, we want to know Wedro. I'm a man, and your seat.
Yes.
I know what are you talking about. We have our seats. We will take Greater Accra. We will work. We will move. We will campaign in this region like never before. We will deliver 24 seats minimum to President Mahama.
In Greater Accra?
Yes, we are moving from 20 to 24.
Hey, some Jojo can't say more.
Write it.
You are recording.
Yes. We will deliver 24 seats for Greater Accra. We deliver 24 seats for Greater Accra. For the NDC in Greater Accra. And I mean, over the weekend we had our caucus workshop, and I kept bragging there and saying that, hey, I am secretary of the biggest caucus in Parliament. Secretary of the Greater Accra caucus. We have 20 seats. That's the biggest caucus in Parliament. You understand me? Right now we've overtaken the Volta region, and I'm proud to say it. And we'll continue to hold it. We'll increase our lead, and we'll make sure, by the grace of Almighty God, that we deliver both presidential and parliamentary.
In Greater
Accra, we are aiming to get at least 53% of presidential votes for President Mahama.
2020, munya percentage saying
51. And you know, it's weird because 2020 is the only time a candidate won Greater Accra and didn't win the presidential elections.
Yeah, it's true.
And we'll fix that anomaly.
In 2024.
Definitely we'll fix it again.
Some George, Medasi, Ebesia Dinkomo Bio. Ekosiisen On Asempa 94.7 FM. Yeah, so anyways, my main comment is the meaning Komo way Emra. But the mono de ever go. Yeah, your friend is saying Val's Day
the mono. Yeah, be
Ghana football.
At the Ghana football because Obi. Look, and I've been saying this. Obi, if you remember, you call Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
I said that Ghana will not even win Indomie. It became a big thing. What would you matter more Ghana?
Also, what can say more?
Look, Obi, look, Black Stars, disband the Black Stars. That is my view. I've held this view for long. It won't be the first time. Look, it was after we disbanded the Black Stars. Well, it's 2001, 2002. Nya call Mali now. Now ye pam Black Stars Jesse ewa adabrakano.
Yeah.
Obi abobo na obi apese obe swap Jesse na Black Stars for say because Jesse na ba kumpe. Asami ku for mu ko kan ye pam wo mo no. When we disband, that's the Jaula time. That's what brought Nyantechi into the scene. When we disbanded it and missed one AFCON.
The 2004 one.
Yes.
Yeah.
2006 were we not? We went at the World Cup.
We went to AFCON and then went to World Cup
because you had time to break down the structure and rebuild it. Look, Nigeria has done it. Several countries have done it to clean their house. How can you tell me that our taxes are being used 8.5 million to go and get 2 points? Obi, there is something systematically wrong with the Black Stars. Look, why should anybody get the opportunity of 33 million people, Yamao, one of 11 jerseys, to wear for the Black Stars, and you say Yamao $10,000 or $30,000 wumbo? Obi, asamwa jana ene asamwa aye ama waye nshirama nkrofono enye Black Stars ente. Stephen Appiah enye Black Stars ente. Before Stephen Appiah got signed to go to Juventus, was it not because of the Black Stars in 2006? Michael Essien, who got his big move to Chelsea, was it not because of Black Stars? John Mensah, any Black Stars the year woman. Any Ghanaian player who's really reached the apogee of his game has been because of the Black Stars. When Kevin Prince Boateng, every time Nikari no drop here, or Black Stars. The Black Stars is and should be a place where you must feel the pride that you are wearing that jersey. It must not be a business place. And look, if we don't break it down, you are building on a foundation of straw. We need to fix Ghanaian football. FIFA can decide to ban us for 2 years. Let's take that time to build it properly. Look, you are talking of Morocco. Are you sure you even qualify for Morocco at this rate?
With what we've seen?
At this rate.
Yeah, Sam.
Yes, sorry, Anna. Say, I see could be menu. You who obia or you're gonna need half and a quarter. When people don't have a connection to the country, they have no sense of ownership in this country. They have no feeling for this country. They don't understand what it is, Obi. That happens to you and I when the Black Stars are not performing. They don't understand the joy that we felt under President Kufuor in 2006 and the joy we felt under Professor Mills in 2010. I was in South Africa where they were calling us Bagana because we were the pride of the African continent. The players were willing to die. Obi, you know Australia game no. Michelle Sox bear 5 midnight freezy. Those boys were playing their hearts out because they felt something for Ghana. Stephen Appiah will kill himself on the pitch. Which of these boys is killing themselves on the pitch? Which of them? Apart from Jiku and Wakasu, Kudus, how many other people do you see? Look, just check the statistics. 50-50 balls. We lost all. Team, no. How do you call this a national team? Uncroforty ho. Now your bonus is kesiye because Obia Obekobia. Woo, ya chauka as manager. Now still uko appearance fee. Coefficient inte.
Some let us say Ekosiisen so the higher Asempa FM yentie we emra yeba Henry Nana Boache baby na friend Nana B national organizer of the NPP is here. Sanso ena Atik Mohammed ewa lawyer Chumberema ewa. But even before that, my main kwahoma na mani J Hyde in Nkomo. J Hyde deputy national youth organizer edema NPP. J Akwaba Ekosiisen so ni bibi aboko there. Nice. Nice. I think I read a statement we issue here. I don't know if it's on behalf of the national youth wing of your party, but at least in that statement, no, you make the point, say, for more as youth of the party, no, mo obia and kamunyaya the mo flag bearer, you know, as more running mate. Is that the case?
With the other once again, we tell with people, you know, what coming, the larger extent is true. About 2 days ago, we saw margin concerning debate for who gets the presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Obi Wow Bekaya, time I'm here, president of the National Union of Ghana students, about to be a couple of times, and I've worked with Dr. Matthew Poku Pepe for a very long time.
Yeah.
In between that period, my friend said, I am somebody who can testify to what the man can do. Across the length and breadth of the country, it is big among also you will need the vice president. From where I sit and what I have seen, I have gone to the ground, I have heard, I have listened, I have seen, and I have stated there, based on your people, based on your match, and I'm based on your man, amount for kind of Dr. Matthew Poku Pepe is the best person I'll be to me after a vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Dalmia, to give us victory. As to why how I arrived at this particular position.
Okay, into this position, no, a personal position as a former NUCS president, right?
I'm a position as a former NUCS president. I mean, currently I'm a deputy national youth organizer, and that position cannot be taken out of my seat as a party officer.
Is this position on behalf of the youth wing, and as a personal position as the deputy national youth organizer?
It is my position as a deputy national youth organizer and a former NUCS president. Who I made meaning for a very long time, based on my interaction on the ground. And I'm a
Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to establish another youth be of your party will not come and say, hey, where do you know one agent and person may establish a way and you're on behalf of the youth wing.
The chief spokesperson of our youth wing here, me boss.
Hey, oh, boss.
I mean, opinion about the matter.
Okay. And do you think, sir, based on interactions with Matthew Opoku Prempeno, he should be the right person to partner flag bearer Mahmoud Baumia?
In recent times, the last time I made it with Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeno in Komo. But I can recall and testify the relevance of this man in our body politics today. For instance, this is the man, the major policy I found in CSHS, UDA. At the time, CSHS was something new. I mean, most of the time, the initiative be bad. It comes with a lot of challenges, but this man executed it to perfection. That is not to say he didn't have his own challenges, but at every point in time, he showed commitment to the cause. And on the boy, you winning 2020 election. CSHS, even in the absence of CSHS, facilities are able CSHS because of expansion, critical. No, or any securitization of get funded by leading to over 2,000 facilities across the country. Yet funding a campuses. In between this period, no, and also not a human there, but at the time, say it's not about informal employment. I create amount for Papa only across the country. Say your body party and you see a war party. There's nobody that comes close to you, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeno. Then again, as a nation, a lot of us are being through the student front. Almost every instance, I will call him, is been there for us. And so there are a lot of people who are ready and willing to work with this man. The last elections in 2020. We had about 1.7 million votes in Ashanti region. We are going to this year's election, there will be some natural factors or natural barriers we have to overcome. I mean, sentiments about 8 years and everything. For me, a mantra says we are breaking the heat. We will need to do better in Ashanti region, and there's nobody who can better lead that charge than Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeno. As a royal of the region, people identify with him. They can come. The party forward, they are yearning for somebody who they can resonate with, somebody they can identify with, so that when they hit the ground, they know that their work is being recognized. Across the length and breadth of the country, we will move out of Ashanti region. The youth in other regions are equally calling for this man. I have sat down and analyzed the issues, and the victory of the party in Nigeria. The year that Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeno partner your vice president, it is very easier. I don't think I mean. Posted that, making that post on Facebook that, as far as I'm concerned, and in my considered view, is the best person to partner our vice president to give us the victory that we are seeking for come 2024 elections.
And do you also believe, sir, listening to youth, a lot of them might share this opinion with you? Well,
as I indicated, it's is not just my opinion, but reflections of Nyamantiti or grounds in your business. Recently, I call on the 7th, I call UPS, you could see Dr. Manu Marabia, vision of the work, Edema MPP, any kind of phone. We also the optics. Any time I come back hospital, so they said the next Dr. Manu could prepare me award to name. Anytime I come and work hospital, you see the uproar and the euphoria at the back auditorium name. That is not to say that alone is is the only identifier of if they are a popular or party name. And we need to wake up our base. We need to have somebody who is able to drive the energies of our base. And as I have indicated once again, there's nobody within the party's front who can better do this for us. I believe that we support the call for Dr. Matukuku Prempe to be selected as our running mate. We need to push our margins in Ashanti region to go beyond 2 million. So that at least we are consolidating on our stronghold and making sure that we can do better in places where we are weak. And I believe that as a royal and somebody who is coming from our stronghold in Ashanti region and somebody who part in Lebanon, any party for identify with, and to me have a certain identity, say Papa way, said about party or Boamena, and so we are also willing to work for him and the big boy party because we are all looking for the victory that will keep the NPP in power. Maybe to me, Juma Pa, the Amagana for us.
Jay, may I not say, Bibiania, your best baby didn't come mobile. Why? Yeah, that's it. And the Isaac J. Hyde, a National Deputy Youth Organizer, Edema NPP, and Moten and Kano, sharing his thoughts with us on who he thinks should be the running mate for his party. Ekosiisen in the moment we Mrayaba Tik Mohammed is here, lawyer Chumberima is here, lawyer Henry Nanabuache, Nanabi is also here. Ye didn't come on.
Provident Insurance welcomes you to a new year. Remember to insure your new car or renew your existing motor insurance from the 1st of January to the 31st of March. You can win free gifts such as fuel coupons and several other branded Provident souvenirs. Rush for insurance cover now. Terms and conditions apply.
Your future happy days.
With Provident, man, you are covered.
Malaria fever, typhoid fever, body and menstrual pain, cold and jointed, loss of appetite, mono, say a punua,
New Year, DBS Industries Limited for say, one more board than is summer free. I want in the year free Bonto. Niana sober Tom roofing sheets a papa. Woman dear drama and Sunimu Biabi. One more baba boss more kama. What yashi? Ain't you waiting any jism? Woman to miss from what the free estimate from OCCA. Accra number no 0240-844-444. Kumasi so dear 0506-004-141. Dakra dear 0506-004-242. DBS Industries Limited. Roofing Papa Fee.
Dive into a new era of news consumption with myjoyonline.com, your go-to destination for cutting-edge journalism, giving you the most credible stories from business to politics and from sports to entertainment. myjoyonline.com introduces an upgraded news website meticulously designed to empower you with an enriched browsing experience like never before. Intuitive navigation. Navigate through an array of revamped categories that cater to all interests. Join the conversation with our interactive comments section. Get live TV,
confidence of the football community.
radio, and podcast of your favorite TV and radio shows on Joy and Adom platforms. Powerful search. Find any story with ease with a simple click. Access precisely what you're looking for. Experience the future of news browsing with myjoyonline.com.
The Go Pills Lemon Throat Lozenges, Abro. Go Pills Lemon Throat Lozenges. A man who told one minimum yaws. A man sent Trene Ahoto, a one minimum yawa, a baton to say, Yariam Mwawa, Edin Yarwaba, cigarette no, and Sano, and in Frama Ascenso. 110 so. Go Pills, a wa any minimum yaws. Go Pills Lemon Throat Lozenges, a yemrel no, Chicha Tekama so, bra or a tafu winum. Get set, go. And your man call mundi influencia, and many anasa and real lozenges. So one woman has one to wa, and you come home, Dr. Asempa Pharmacy Limited. And imported Go Pills. Almost one on distribute. If you're a Chirakwine, Timber Market, Ashaman Runabout, your pharmacies, and over-the-counter medicine sellers. Open to do it to any friend 024-705-3104 and 059-329-3734. FDA, Aji Gedian Kratoi Atu.
Franco Trading Enterprise still phone Papa Fie, Samsung near, Nokia near, iPhone near, say our printers, mobile phone, accessories. Franco Trading Enterprise, our no TV, this satellite, any ultra panels, Abomuma
Facebook, Sauko Franco Trading Enterprise page. Nasa likes number 100,000. Ayoma, Edu Munija, Samsung at www.francotrading.com. Android app, Franco Trading, Instagram, at Franco Trading. Nani Papa de Fuadosunti, Franco, the Momo Pay code number 189480.
Your branches on the Bebre Wagana baby, Nemum, head office on the Twaya Dabraka, opposite Roxy Cinema.
Tema, Franco Community 1, One Waterworks Nedianimere, Cycle, opposite Odor Rise, Madina, 100 meters away from the police station. Kaswa, Franco, opposite Kaswa Polyclinic.
And our prayer number is 0246 422 338 and 0546 133 188. Franco Trading Enterprise.
Still, phone Papa Fie.
And you're not going.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future, a pan-African future, together. EcoBank, a better way, a better Africa.
Hey, Pedro, Nansen, who ya Pedrianu?
Ama, Kingdom Garlic Bitters and Capsules, Mamma, Menumwa Tosoma, and Nansen will say, Obesorina Menaho, Yana Mekojogio, and Huadina Bidra, Mitimin Nante, a Frusania, Menti Brebium Sanse, a Mojanity Free Juma, and an immune system no so a Yena Juma.
Kingdom Herbal Center for Dre, and a woody who dancing.
Menna Miss was a Sedia, Ofra, Mefro, Wisanensua, Missane.
And Yakwajo, Miss Media Samuel, Kingdom Garlic Bitters and Capsules Nadaruma, and there, Amama your Betsima.
Oh, you what? Kingdom Garlic Bitters and Capsules, a dry Food and Drugs Authority for Ajatum, a boost to immune system. Wawaya Kessia boost for obesity, wordropa, any and rheumatism arthritis. Kingdom Garlic Bitters and Capsules, Muamopedo to Enko Kimbelin Avenue, Okaishi Draglin, Ewo and Crime. Drugstore BMU with Sabetimia Kebi. Etima Free Kingdom Herbal Center for 0275 804064 and 0302 938153. Kingdom Garlic Bitters and Capsules.
No challenger.
Dive into a new era of news consumption with myjoyonline.com, your go-to destination for cutting-edge journalism, giving you the most credible stories from business to politics and from sports to entertainment. myjoyonline.com introduces an upgraded news website meticulously designed to empower you with an enriched browsing experience like never before. Intuitive navigation. Navigate through an array of revamped categories that cater to all interests. Join the conversation with our interactive comments section. Get live TV,
confidence of the football community.
radio, can actually borrow, and podcast of your favorite TV and radio shows on Joy and Adom platforms. Powerful search. Find any story with ease with a simple click. Access precisely what you're looking for. Experience the future of news browsing with myjoyonline.com.
Anytime I feel lonely, feeling sad, only one station makes me happy. When I wake up in the morning, only the station makes my day. Oh, Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. Oh, Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM.
94.7 Asempa FM. Suni Ekosiisen Jumedie no wasuguswa utie no ma ye na munyina ase ne mama kwaba council into betna ha ana obefa no fa ticket into go down e fa ticket ma me na chese bibia e kama lawyer papa lawyer chumberema oye brutal men Canada enti ma menhwa na memfa we entwem na afi so let me say a big good evening to you, lawyer Sami Jemfi and Eric Ejay. You're doing the listening, thank you, and have a great evening. But Flumal triple action, enra, and I say dra triple action pharmacy at Diaba. Nanyo nkomodi Uvisa post pay and swaka home. Ni nyina yenura Ghana for agia tumwa juma papa mo nasal congestion or sinus problems related to cold, any flu, wardrobe, any flumal triple action. Baby aton ro Ghana hebia ubenya bia to adofo no ntimoma ye nyina yen hye so o pedodo today a one Action Pharmacy in Incomo, it was 0260-869-872. Na omonche into me wow. Unimun so say Val's Day Wednesday, we create the day in Nimia. Na ebia make us a wono Safari Valley Eco Resort, what in the ding ba won call hoda. And so I show more videos on social media and I'm more TV, especially with Joy News, ebia more TV commercials are almost rolling it out. Beautiful place. Safari Valley Eco Resort. Now, Valentine for 2024, my special package. In the baby, now almost say, hey, Safari Valley, dear boy, in a meet me a quack me patch unihow. And the Val's Day package on my yeno. Almost say, come and experience life in the valley at Safari Valley Eco Resort, located at Edukrom. It's a relaxing environment with beautiful sight and nature's wildlife on display. A offer package in any for just 5,400 Ghana cedis. Love in the Valley package beckons from the 6th to the 29th of February. In the promotion period, no 12th. In the free summary, 29th of February promotion year period, 5,400 Ghana cedis a night. For 2 guests in the Nipa Mieno, the mama nice room. We so no a whole rooms no nye rooms biya keke o papa bi. All the tier package for just 5,400 one night. Ko demo. Yama breakfast, yama lunch, ama dinner. In fact, you serve you as a 3 to 5 course meal from a curated menu of the day. And for Nipa Mieno, mind you. Valentine's room decoration with fruit platter into be red room hono. So we name fruit platter. How do you Google fruit platter? Natural pictures no. Both say siwon paneso, apple kakra, pawpaw kakra, strawberry kakra, fruit platter. Papa be round them on this. When I say a bottle of wine on arrival, solid. Your man 24-hour shared butler service. Ja. No, Safari Valley Eco Resort, me too much. I say I'm Safari Wildlife Tour. I'm on animal feeding. As part of the care, we're trying to make now could feed him more. To be to do your friend is saying giraffe now ma giraffe aduane o ma osono aduane o ma jata aduane o ma tiger aduane kama na bibi atimi akoyi ya sign the wakoye waterfall a trip to the waterfall no akwa ya ma canoe ride on the canal yeah enti Safari Valley Eco Resort or Vals Day package we dear if you don't take advantage now one cohorse one kwa share ye more local tourism and it's just 5,400 a night for Bibia Mabosu for 2 people. It's unbelievable, you know. And from the 6th to the 29th of February, a promotion you go so free and CCR and as I send the WhatsApp 0596 914 394 0596 914 394 T's and C's apply. It may patch off from Montem na Buki. Vals Day way dear. Say Fufoni abenkwan na adwo abejiska ekoye ekodidwa na yenye fufoni nkrakra ne fufoni abenkwan na teso kakra at least for yere eko Safari Valley Eco Resort. Oh Charlie na munyina munhya nso Easeway nso a launch a new product friend iVest Easeway iVest a secured fixed term investment from Easeway I amount so much more it is the Easeway Kenyana say with a minimum of 5,000 Ghana cedis over a minimum period of say 3 months usi kanebe so doso. And now say you can also increase your earnings by investing over the maximum period of 12 months. You know, times are hard. And they say, your investment and invest right. Open an iVest account today and invest your way to massive wealth. iVest, real value for real people. It only is way any commerce here on 0596 914 843 0596 914 843 or test iVest IVEST to 4993 to get started. Easeway, your trusted financial solutions partner. Easeway, remember, is a member of the Ghana Deposit Protection Corporation or Mubwe Juma pa. It moment yen so. Atik Mohammed akwaba na apom te saying
Obi nyame adome ho na we
adome ya bibi e koye die.
Oh, like I always say, could be better. Nanado. Well, it could be fancy. It could be better. My boys, I am. My boys, I am. Catch a microphone. Oh, Zeno, my boys, I am. Oh, beauty, we am. Oh, Vandala, I am ready. And I just say
5,400.
5,400.
And yet, wait, Safari Valley.
Oh, Kobe.
On
your age, Juma. As soon as you are, yes, I'm walking out the jar. As soon as you, I mean, he deserves it, but okay, tight is in a hydrogen, and that's how the anchor. Oh, and yes, I'm 5,000. I mean, especially for a vandal. Bianca free somebody, Bianca Bediam, but we have vandal in Quantum. But none of my boys are Emre. And easy. My boys are Emre.
Lawyer Chuma better saying.
Oh, I read them.
Yamiase. Say, be a quay.
Yametiase. I got rook on the Bonaka and I'm going to the can yeah. Who's be the be crack on Pia one thing.
It's true. But it's true.
At least with life, we are okay to go.
Very well. Yeah, share names Henry Nanabuachi will join us. We're a national organizer, Edema NPP. And maybe I just say.
And I've been discussing.
Okay.
Oh,
no, you have time.
Oh,
we don't have a lot of time.
Interview Tintin. Now you say,
oh, no, shut down. What's that?
1.5 hours. Now I'm ready to cry. Oh, yeah, I'm at 4 o'clock. I
think Kasabibre.
Mammy Kasabibre. Now because every hour that is spent without doing anything is lost.
Yeah, I get you.
Most will say more advertising 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it's true. But you're interested.
And you should be apologizing to us and not just saying what you are saying.
Okay,
we deserve sincere, an unconditional
sincere apologies. I mean, sincere apologies.
Apology and consideration.
I was say you name baby episode said I could do lunch.
Oh, you're advertising, you know. Wait there, yeah, then family go be advertising.
He also wants to go and feed the giraffes.
Me cry only giraffes. Me mean the lunch you cry na me be. Feeding the giraffes then count.
Abasa, your friend saying Vice President Bawumia kasa wie ne Omaha, right?
No, this is my first time. Yeah.
Utimi tie no.
Oh, me tie no. I mean, who wouldn't?
Were you impressed with what you heard?
And Eddie came and check a maga for you now. Public for me there. Me buy semi show. When you ask a question like, were you impressed? I think, I mean, with all due respect, it's you are eliciting a simplistic answer. What you say? What are my general views and thoughts about your end? But impressed, dear, you are inviting me to give you a subjective answer.
Okay.
Because to be impressed, dear, how to be born home, I'm not impressed.
Yeah. It was general
thoughts about
what you heard.
Good. Media, as a policy person, I've always said, Nkomo IED should, especially about campaign Nkomo and elections Nkomo, we should be focused more on issues, policies. Because I know now, on my phone, I ready to aba. But Sabi at the picture, mudsling in the and Ghana has gone. We have outgrown type of politics. So now the focus should be on policy options. Dear now see Uba what is at present in place, so that Uba either you improve it and I Uba Sisano, with the ultimate goal of improving the lot of the Ghanaian people. I don't know. Essay young common. To that extent, I think near Mampenyi Abedi was brilliant in the sense that after the election, he has not had and he has not presented any major policy statement. At some point, I was getting worried. Say, now Obia here to about AU and know him. You see, when you come from the policy space, your expectations of Obia or no so every honum sometimes it was so kakra. It was like I mean, Baku Krafatum. Especially so that the opponent, started outlining some of the policy visions. Now I was expecting at least Umwa Bibimbetum. Until Oya's presentation, I felt these answers and I had answered the expectation I had earlier. Now, there were loads and obviously highs with respect to representation. Mamisha has free some of the lows. I think he spent a lot of time on trying to advertise what he referred to as achievements of
this administration. Okay.
Minyayanka, even if you were to speak about some of the things you feel say Abainaye, it should have been snappy. He should have been snappy about that.
Okay.
Because Abaiwe in himself is the truka. What is here? And Ayasana, when you want to trumpet something that is in a troubled situation, it becomes difficult.
I say you are gaslighting people.
Absolutely. Well, and Ayasaswa, it gets to a point you are fishing for achievements that probably are non-existent. Because you want to paint a rosy picture when indeed the situation is not so. And to me, either he would stick to just the vision or one, which for me was awesome. And now Obekanya Benyaya, he should have spoken to areas office or bar he would improve on, and where there are challenges officer or bar, there would be some reviews for. But to speak generally about the performance of Abain, a hard, but I understand him. He is in a situation like catch 22. Mampusi for Nebu, my baby said. And it's in the form of a metaphor. The metaphor of the spider and the fly. When the spider catches the fly, or Ozu, we dear, or I know what time to do now, once in a day when a pay. Onjano. So you'd always find the fly in the web of the spider. And in the situation is a okaben with whom. Onyaya nanka no wa onka hwasem. But it is difficult to exculpate yourself from some of the worries Ghana for a complaining with respect to this administration. And it's like a catch-22 situation. And Mitina says that he wanted to speak to some of the achievements, but like I said, he should have been brief about that because issues no also. Beyond that, Oba
the vision statement, and let me say that before all kind of vision, at the point I was like, what am I listening to? Because the vision statement took long in coming, which for me was an untin and amity. And yen nearby we are the record is public. Obienim. Sabi, if you don't even understand statistics and economic variables, you feel it. And as for some of the things that are by now, there are issues of public record. Obienim. But near yen any adjumpo I would that is what I was expectant to, and I was in a haste to listen to what he has said. But like I said, he was, he spent a lot of time talking about Abaywe and all of that. But he had given an indication on the day on the day he accepted, and in his acceptance speech, he had given us a hint, say, Nyoma very different. And for me, I was excited about it. And Mika Hwasem say, look, this is a man where say he's going to present a different image, because an association with what is in play right now is going to be terrible for you going forward. And I'm speaking electorally. If you are going to say near we me betuani in asu sadia, then what is the difference between you and Nanado? And I dare tell you, I dare say ene ye two aba on the achievements of Nanadua or very poto. And I'm sure objective MP4 will tell you, if Ghanaians were to cast a verdict on the performance of Akufo-Addo, especially in his second term, the verdict is going to be deadly. And the association with near Ekosiise, if Ghanaians are going to make a verdict on you, they are going to do so on the basis of Neomu. And my belief in saying Nyade Ebekuye. And Choka said, there's going to be a new vision, which ideally should be the case. And Fan who say we have vice president. And the role of the vice president, me, we should scrap it.
Really?
Ghana and Nkrumah didn't have a vice president.
Sure.
Look, and it is because of that role, like that office, the function of that office is a bit nebulous. And even the constitution, there's only one function that is assigned to Sir Papan, chairman of the council of the police.
The police council.
What has here? And of all the Juma Bebre, the executive, would the Adibaku Pena constitution kase we recognize the idea so yeni. And you share really and truly the role of the vice president.
And then that will be assigned to him.
And any other role that will be assigned to him. That's the point he makes.
No, any other role is not defined.
Sure.
Yeah, but
discretion of the president.
Any other role could be just come to the office,
and
have lunch and
newspapers.
go home.
And there's nothing like that.
Exactly. No, say a rule. Say read the newspapers when I'm free.
Never brief president.
Well, in my leisure time, come and tell me what is happening. And no, it's a rule. What I say, and the fact that is not defined, even makes it worse. It didn't because that rule, unless one casano, you create a niche for yourself.
Yeah. I guess a bad name for you to stand out.
There's no role that is specified in law for you. What I say, until Bia is on the benevolence of your boss. Now, when your boss Bia, and on this occasion, let me be very blunt. Obiti say Nanado, on why I been say finance minister, or bon number, he will maintain him. And you're all Canadian Jumano. One share your performance might be dwarfed by the finance minister. And so you need to go over and above so that you would be relevant. And as a vice president, really will role because it's not defined, and there are no specified functions, you can tell, you should be bold enough to say me be am penyin and I'm betun fraka me be am leader now. Going forward, if I become president, I will do A, B, C, and D. Different from near Nami boss. Because if you are unable to do that, then what is the point in voting for you? You cannot tell me say Nanado be any nana ye. In fact, in the second term, the 70% of the things is done ye ninja. What I say, and there are outcomes and results to show. What I say, until when he stated say he's going to be a man of his own, and that he's going to be Obia presenting new vision. I was excited because I said, I've been a grown here. Because now we'll be judging him based on what he's going to present and not based on what the boss are. He's part of a collective. But yet this one born a cassia and ye.
But that is what his critics have said. Say, he is part of the collective, yes, but he has to also bear part of the blame. In fact, bear substantial
that is
part
beyond
of
debate.
the blame.
That is beyond substantial. When you qualify it like that, it becomes problematic.
No, some what his critics have said.
Saying, well, so let me say, it becomes problematic because you hold somebody substantially responsible for idea or substantial control over affairs. Like I said, no role no shinim. Vice President, apart from Salusa, why in you would tend to be banana. With all due respect, and Yamin fan the currency orally Mahama. There was only one thing, which at some point even
the campaign against indiscipline.
And at some point he got fed up and gave up. What I say? What else do you remember him by? Apart from the fact that he was the vice president. With all due respect. Until a position be a why you want ye bibia. Ube kofi no namasa. There's nothing to your name. What has here? Yes. And to hold such a person, Obia, you can say who is just hanging, to hold him wholly responsible for Numa Bia Ekosudi, in my view, is a bit unfair. But that is not to say, you can hold him responsible for other things, especially things that Onwankasa Beka say or Beye Ana or Ye. You can judge him on that. Until, like I said, media, I wanted a man who would say, I have a new vision. Judge me based on this new vision. Midi Bay. So there's also two wabana. Look at that which I have presented. Because it's going to be a clash and a contest of ideas. 2024 elections, people would make references to records and so on. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it is about the ideas of the two contenders. At the end of the day, that would take us from this bottomless pit and another because everybody, including MP 42, say we are in a messy situation. So now we are looking forward to Obia, who can take us from this and position us in such a state say we can begin to grow again. What I say? Yes. And you don't do that by looking at say, oh, you were part of a collective. Collective didn't do well. Until I am judging you based on, especially so when you didn't have control. And let me give you an example.
But do you believe the point about say Onikondo? Because some have said, say, as chair of the EMT, the EMT shapes and see to the implementation of some government policies.
They don't see to the implementation of anything. Hey. Yes. You see, the role of the EMT is advisory.
Yes, that's true.
And I'm speaking to you as Obia Oti how policy is implemented. Mm-hmm. Look, an advice is not mandatory. It's optional. Who advise me? And you see that chairman of EMT is an executive role. What is the effect of the advice and the word of the chairman of EMT on fiscal policy?
On the finance minister, for example.
And I mean that because of fiscal policy because he's in charge of fiscal policy. Are we saying say near chairman Nebeka near EMT Beka na finance minister the Ejuma? If the answer is yes, then we can hold him wholly responsible for the flaws and the difficulties with our fiscal policy. But if the answer is no, how do you hold Obi Asebi? He has no control over fiscal policy.
And the answer is likely to be no?
It's not likely. It's most definitely no. Unless, look, I like to do objective analysis. What is here? Mm-hmm. I have issues with some of the ideas, and I'll speak to that. But Nukra Wawa Eseka, who has control over Oferiata? Nyopen Oye. What is here? Nyopen Oye. And you ask any minister. Or no, he can decide to withhold your disbursements. She knew about your cost for my was you on farm?
Not even the president can talk on your behalf.
Can you imagine to the extent that the president has to not talk on your behalf? Tells you, say the system. I didn't know. Just say. What is here?
Yes.
Anka onyen your power. Why would you require the intervention of the president for a finance minister to do near SOE? E-levy, and I'll use e-levy as an example. And let's be fair to Baumia. I wrote, a project on the adoption of digital technologies.
Yeah.
And look, say one of the things that excite people to adopt new technologies, and they say it is free, it is accessible. But all the taxes add to new technologies were. It may have diffused into more country, but adoption becomes a problem. Because it's not free, it's not accessible. And we are growing into the new age of technology, where we are encouraging your man for and say they should adopt new technologies. And if you are not up to date, if you are not at pace with the growing technology urban, you always be behind. And look, Obia Oti basic economics as Sibekacha will say, countries develop because of their proximity to the frontier when it comes to technology.
Technology, yeah.
And to say and we are doing our best to get closer, then we should be encouraging people to adopt new technologies.
Yes.
And when the vice president says that he's going to embark on a project of digitalization, it is about helping people and encouraging people to adopt digital technologies.
Sure.
And yes, sir.
Sure.
And it would have been counterproductive, in fact, counterintuitive. Say you are encouraging people to adopt new technologies, digital technologies for that matter. Now, you are supporting taxation on such technology, the adoption of such technology. It doesn't make sense. And you can say Nyadi or Obeye. And to be fair to him, since Oura Meko Bian Kebi Frata didn't e-levy buying, Onka Wasamda. Yes, Onka Wasamda. So imagine if you had control. Fiscal policy is just about, decisions of revenue generation and expenditure. So, and of course, revenue includes tax revenue. In fact, Ghana had the greatest share of our revenue comes from taxes. Tax revenue is the biggest share of our revenue. Now, if you had control over fiscal policy, on Jin to Musa and taxi mobile money transactions, would you say Anka would find his way into our budget? I mean into government's economic policy. What has here? Musa EMT has been hyped. And for some political reasons, Baumia also fed into it, giving the impression, say, whoa, I do wait the year about driving government's fiscal policy. In fact, government's economic policy, not only fiscal. What has here? Yeah. And once you create that impression, then you man koya, yeah, this one bebo. But nuclear woman say that is just a body that is almost set it up to help guide and make suggestions to the formulation of fiscal policy. But as to whether Neo Omu Bekano, Yebeja Tum Ana Enun Edibe Juma, it's another question. What is here? And like I said, sometimes some of these things are created just to fill that vacuum that is associated with the office of the vice president. And to media, I feel say you can hold him responsible for some of the things he said in the past. I have no doubt about that. Because also, hey, I big talk the OKB. What is here? Yeah. And especially so. No him say the control and the influence on some major economic policies, and strong. He should have been moderate in the way he says some of the things he said. For example, to say exchange rate to me, you don't have that control. What I say, and some of the things are okay. Maybe he was under the mistaken belief, say, as the chairman of the EMT,
he was going to be allowed to.
But for that time, who said, what I say, and the AB, if he had an opportunity to restate the things he said earlier, and Kobe Hunkwaya, now Mika Enono, he's made some, pronouncements.
I'll come back to you now for your share. Now we've dealt with Ninsema, Wakada, the discussions around the speech. We'll come and then look at the vision, the specifics, issues in the vision of him. Henry Nanabuachi about cancer or no a lawyer ni bebrina friend and Nabi or a national organizer Edema NPP. Nana kwa be saying
oui me Josuminia
Bibi Ekoyi
nyamiadaro kaka
na e kan say na no me hu UPSC.
Oh, yes.
Why you busy? Air to turn your man.
And I think say my main for the case so that will be bias titru the team omo boa mema ye organization fantastic omo ya dey pa in fact bikran na enti my main for the case so na me no mase, and I think you agree with me say Mekai said the last time program
stadium there
stadium
This one was very well organized.
Different.
This one was very well organized. For you as somebody who was at the heart of their course, Utie, leader and flag bearer, Asema Okaye. After the speeches, we hear a lot of the discussions at every speech. Sam George just left the studio. A lot of the issues are NDC for Akaina in attacking in Sama or Mote. What do you think? The Akoswin
Obi, my main chairman, Chunso, council, Metia TB, but Mimaniajipa. Samishem Commona free. From Eba, me who say a year abuso kind for the statement aba. Our mobile a year a mampenia bedi chabaso. Me who Association of Ghana Industries, penny so ebo a mampenia bedi chabaso. Me who say National Union of Ghana Students. And so akasa also ebo a year a mampenia bedi chabaso. These are core people, these are major stakeholders, are more adinima meniaji. In fact, the business community, no, we share a kwanya yura say or the abe for kwanya. Ebema ye taxes no near day.